when she realized she raised 4 criminal clowns. Barbara Bush has Marty Feldman eyes. And she's nasty, old and crafty, and she raised 4 basic Nazis. She's atrocious and takes some freaks to anyone who says they want no Bush. Walks like she's carrying a bowling ball between her thighs and has Marty Feldman eyes. She's asking me to score, as if she's always surprised. Teeth wiggle when she talks. Barbara Bush has Marty Feldman eyes. She gave us George Bush and Jeb Bush, not to mention Bill and Robin Bush. Filthy rich and fat, and smells just like the magic sauce on a Big Mac. Barbara Bush resembles Ernest Borgnine on a bad day with Marty Feldman eyes.
Boy, she hasn't played that in a long time. My right ear just popped open.
Whoa, one of life's simple pleasures.
I didn't even know it was closed up.
Was that on that poll, Simple Pleasures?
Yeah. Popping ears. Finger popping time. Who did that song? I don't know.
I'll find out.
I haven't got any idea. Finger popping time. I bet you got it.
Yeah.
Hey now, finger. I don't know, something like that. Finger looking good popping time.
Oh, you got to know this one. It's all, you know.
Hey now, yeah, I told you. I have no idea. Chubby Checker?
Close.
Slim Pickens?
Close.
Who did it?
Hank Ballard.
Oh, Hank Ballard and Midnighters. Well, he did the twist. You see,
Right.
that's why I said Chubby Checker.
And that's why I said close.
Oh, it was close. Okay, that's enough. Did his race speech turn things around, Barack Obama? 2 new polls seem to indicate yes. 2 new polls of Pennsylvania and North Carolina, the 2 biggest remaining states left, were released today and show momentum toward Barack Obama. They were released yesterday, excuse me. First, Rasmussen now has Clinton up 49-39 in Pennsylvania. Last week she had a 13-point lead, now it's only 10. The week before it was a 15-point lead, so it is diminishing. This is important for a few reasons. First of all, polls last week seemed to show Clinton expanding her lead in Pennsylvania, probably due to the Reverend Wright controversy. Obviously, that has stopped now, at least according to this poll, and Obama is gaining, even if it's only a slight gain. It should be noted that Obama is yet to even start major campaigning in Pennsylvania. It's also important because the media expectation that is building is that she needs to blow Obama out of Pennsylvania by at least 15 to 20 points. Last week it looked like she might do that. Now it don't look so great. The other interesting thing to look at is the poll's favorability survey. Last week, 76% viewed Swillery favorably. This week, that number was down to 68%. Maybe the Bosnia lie about all that sniper fire on the tarmac.
Yeah, the latest one.
Yeah, the latest lie. The poll was taken 2 days ago, Monday, so it's possible. Meanwhile, Obama's favorability was 72% last week and still 71% this week, considering all the hoopla around the Wright business and that it was going to wreck his campaign. You'd think his favorability rating would have dropped more than just 1% following a week of near non-stop coverage about Wright. Well, the media evidently got it wrong again. And in North Carolina, public policy polling now has got Obama with a massive lead, 55-34%, 21-point lead. Wow. And last week they released a poll that had the race at 44%. For Obama. So it's a huge shift in just a week. According to the internal polls, the main reason for the shift is white voters. Last week, Swillery led among white voters in North Carolina, 56-30%. Now this week, that lead is down to 47-40%. The most obvious reason in the shift is Obama's praised speech on race. Regardless of what she says, from now until then, Clinton will have a near impossible time convincing anybody she's got any kind of a shot if she loses North Carolina by more than 10 points. She's going to get her ass kicked in North Carolina. Nothing could be finer than to kick her ass in North Carolina. Yep. Bye-bye, Swillery. Don't let the door hit you in the fat ass on the way out. Go back to Chappaqua. Or go back to Albany, wherever you're hanging it out. Go back to Washington. When Neera George talks about religion, this is yesterday's poll, which we almost have the 1,000 votes already, Chris, which means we're going to change it real fast. We got tomorrow's poll on there already.
Okay.
Thanks to Brandon. Now, maybe you don't like tomorrow. Do you want me to tell you tomorrow's poll before I read this one?
Why not? Do it.
What part of the newspaper do you always read?
Okay.
You don't like that?
I hope none is one of the options.
Yes.
All right, excellent.
I don't read newspapers on air. Crossword puzzle, Dear Abby, local, state, national, front page, world, sports, business, comics, horoscope, obituaries, classifieds, and coupons. How about one of those great coupons?
If I find one on the bathroom floor, I kick it out of my stall.
What, the newspaper?
Yeah.
Well, of course, look at what you got to choose from. You got the Herald and the Scum Sentinel.
I wouldn't dirty my fingertips with either one of those rags.
Too bad we don't have the Hollywood Sun-Tatler for you anymore.
That's too bad.
Well, I think when Florida really started going in the crapper is when all the dog tracks closed down. Well, I don't know if they closed down, but they started, people stopped going there. Hey, everybody, go to the dog track. Okay, let's bring South Florida back to life.
I'd rather go to the horse track.
But you're going to be there on Friday. That's pretty exciting. George is going to be back at Gulfstream. He's like a regular there now.
I'm going to be.
And I didn't tell you before the show today, I won $1,000 at Woodbine yesterday. That's the good news. The bad news is I got off a machine that paid $3,000. So how would you feel about that?
Whatever, I would count my blessings.
I just didn't have a good feeling about that machine because it paid big. In fact, that's the machine I won on Sunday. And usually they don't stay hot that long. Of course, there's no such thing as a hot machine. You know, all those tipsters that write those stupid books like the one you want to send me. But never leave a hot machine. But anyway, so the guy got on there and he got a spin for $1,000, followed up almost immediately by $2,000 on the line, which is a clever way to computer paying out $3,000. See, you're playing against the computer and these idiots who don't understand that. You know, you can bang on the wheel, you can bang on the machine, you can break the glass, which several people have done that, by the way. They get so frustrated and they slam the glass and they break the glass. And then the Woodbine police come and they take them away in handcuffs. But anyway, when Neil or George talks about religion, we have 965 votes. And this is not very uplifting compared to the time we did it years ago. I mean, we're talking some ornery people out there, and I guess maybe they think by casting the votes like that they're going to stop us from doing that. No, they're not. I love it, 442. It's interesting, 342. You add those two together, you got over 80%. I turn it off, 135, 13.8% turn it off when we talk religion. You believe that? No.
No.
And it pisses me off, 55, 5.6% out of 974. We'll get to 1,000 on that, and then we'll Schmidt can it. I'll put the new one on there about the newspaper. Let's do this giveaway right now, as a matter of fact. Caller number 5. Now, is he in there, Flea, to do this or not?
Oh, I thought we were going to do that around the noontime.
No, that's the Panther ticket thing.
All right, I don't know when we're going to do that.
What are you talking about?
Well, that's the discussion that we had before the show.
One tomorrow.
Right.
What?
That's the discussion that we had before the show, is that we don't know exactly when we're going to do that, and I'm sure we'll
the discussion
find
with
out.
Whom?
Well, you and I had it.
No, we didn't.
When I faxed that stuff, I said, I don't know when we're doing the discussion, but I'll be sure and find out, and then when I find out, we'll do it. I was here for it. Did you happen to be in the room at the time, Chris?
Yeah. Maybe I wasn't listening.
I'm sure.
Or maybe I was out doing the Joyce. I did read Joyce this morning.
Oh, no, because it was a two-way conversation, so if you were out doing the Joyce, you must have taken that microphone with you.
I did.
All right.
Did you hear the sound effects?
No, I did not.
It's like an Alka-Seltzer spot. Fizz, fizz, plop, plop, without the fizz, fizz. So I shouldn't do the caller number 5 right now?
No, I don't think there's anybody in there, so just hold it.
But at least we're streaming today, okay? We've had the last couple of days, we've had some real defugoles here.
All these little victories, let's celebrate each one.
Well, what's the victory? The fact that
we're streaming today. We're on the air and we're streaming.
Yeah. I'm screaming, and you're screaming. What's with Joe Rose lately, by the way? A lot of screaming. Even on his recorded
They
stuff.
like it, so he's doing more of it.
Is that what it is?
That's it.
They like screamers? Maybe that's why I got this job. 976 on the poll. Chris can't wait until we change the one about the newspapers. Don't forget to join George this Friday from 10 to 2 at Gulfstream. Now, can I read this promo now, or do I have to find out what
No, that's firm. And we'll be doing that very shortly.
We'll be doing what?
That other giveaway.
The giveaway?
Yeah.
Did Flea tell you that?
Yes, he did.
Did he come in there and then he
texted it to me.
Oh, I see. Oh, is he not there yet?
I don't know where he is.
It's only 10:10.
Busy man. He's been in here since 8:30 this morning at the very least.
Mm-hmm.
He was here when I showed up.
Join George this Friday, 10 to 2 at Gulfstream, what is it? Racetrack and Casino in Hallandale.
Yeah, in Kissimmee.
Come by for great horse racing. It's in Hallandale, baby, where all the old farts play a little poker, maybe hit the slots for a big jackpot. Oh, speaking of that, some bag won $9 million on the Megabucks. Not at Woodbine, but at Casino-Rama. up in Berry.
Mm-hmm.
In Rama, they call it.
Rhymes with?
Bama. But anyway, some lady won $9 million on it. I noticed because they have it at all the Ontario casinos. It's one of those where they have it at all the places, you know, and it just keeps going up, and unless somebody wins, the jackpot keeps increasing. And I've noticed at Woodbine it was like 8.7, 8.8. Then I stopped paying attention. I don't play that because it doesn't pay worth a crap unless you hit the jackpot, which is like winning the lottery. Oh, the lotto is $15 million tonight. I better go play it. I'll see you. Don't let me forget to play the lottery today.
Okay.
Well, it's $15 million tonight for the...
Hey, don't forget to play that lottery today.
649. $15 million. Boy, you think I'd be back tomorrow?
No, I hope not.
Oh, that one last show, Neil. You'd have to have that one last show. No, I would not.
I know you wouldn't have to have it, but I would do it if I were in your position.
Would you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you'd be talking about jerks the whole time.
Last venting.
There's so many.
No, not the whole time. What do I care about that? It doesn't matter what they put on there in the afternoon. It's still
so many jerks in so little time.
The sports leader.
Neil Rogers. God.
What happened, though? That was supposed to be the hippest, most with it, hottest ever opened to keep the audience dazzled with sports babble and heat stats. Well, that was a little bit of a train wreck. Was it was a train wreck? Tweet, you okay?
Okay. No. Got hit by a train.
Don't leave me now, Tweet. I need a little bit of dating advice.
Advice?
I took a girl to dinner last night. I mean, a real one. It didn't work out so good.
So good. Why?
Well, I did most of the talking. You know how passionate I am about the heat and hoops and heat and hoops. I guess it's my homosexual attraction to men's basketball, and well, she threw her Appletini in my face and walked out. Tweet! Well, he's a little bit dead. To the log! You know, this reminds me of the time Hugh Dennis pulled out a ham bone. He sat there, and tears welling up in his eyes like the old Indian did. I, too, shed a tear that sparkled like a rainbow on the cheek of a sad child on a rainy day. Shadows of despair hung in the arena as Hugh Dennis nursed the pain of a pulled ham bone. You just can't pull a ham bone and not cry. I love men, all kinds of men. And that's why, ladies and gentlemen, nothing matters more in my life than being a vacuous, self-interested, homosexual sport hole. Yugga.
It's 10:18 at 560 WQAM. If you like that, you'll hear a lot more of it between 2 and 4 this afternoon. The Jerk Show, exclusively on QAM, because who else would put it on the air? Then 4 to 7, we got the Mad Dog. Then 7 o'clock till 9, it's Dolphins All Asses. And it doesn't even have any names on there now, who's going to be on there. And then the DA show, 9 to midnight. He's going to do double duty today again, I guess. Not split shift. Hear that siren out there again?
No, I did.
Yeah.
You're going to need a window microphone so that we can get the ambiance. You know how
they don't need the ambiance.
They have the crowd mic at the baseball games and stuff. How about, we
call number 5 right now, not. See, I'm just...
No, we're ready for it now.
Oh, we are ready for it, okay.
Yes, go, do it.
Caller 5 right now at 1-800-227-0560 wins a $50 gift certificate to the historic Downtowner restaurant located at 10 South New River Drive, East in Fort Lauderdale. That's caller number 5 right now, 1-800-227-0560. And that's our restaurant for tomorrow for our Neil Deal, the historic Downtowner. But nevertheless, caller number 5 right now, $50 certificate to the Downtowner, 1-800-227-0560. I'm doing that several times because I know the delay hasn't caught up yet.
Right.
But we are streaming, man. We're streaming, baby. All right. I think. What was that?
Streaming sounds.
Was that the wheel?
Yes.
That sounded like the old QAM, the IOD wheel. Spin the wheel. And win a prize. Rick Korch, who serves as the University of Miami football team's chief spokesman, is under criminal investigation after a technician found child pornography on his office computer, according to police. Korch, 52, of Miramar, has not been charged. He's married, has 4 children, according to his university biography. Efforts to reach Korch at his home by the Herald and his cell phone were unsuccessful. He left the university's sports information office about 2 weeks ago, said a receptionist to answer the phone. University spokeswoman Margot Winnick declined to comment. Per university policy, I can't discuss his record, she said. Coral Gables police also declined to comment. We're still investigating, said Sergeant Javier Bruzos, the spokesman. According to a Gables police search warrant filed in Dade Circuit Court, courts had requested UM computer technicians to repair his office computer because it ran too slow. As technician Alberto Perez reformatted the hard drive February 12th, he found an explicit video involving what appeared to be a prepubescent girl, the warrant said. Perez found other sexually charged images of scantily clad girls that appeared to be between the ages of 10 and 15. Also discovered more than 10 files containing the word pedo in the file name, short for pedophilia, according to the warrant. Other technicians found sexually explicit photos of children stored in a folder called Season Recaps, the warrant said. The school called Coral Gables Police. Detective Dean Wellinghoff impounded the computer. Armed with a warrant, Wellinghoff and detectives on February 23rd searched Korch's office at the Isidore Hecht Athletic Center. They seized computers, floppy disks, documents, 24 VHS tapes, including one labeled Wake Forest versus Miami, and hundreds of CDs and DVDs. Korch joined the university in 2004 after 9 years managing media affairs for the Jacksonville Jaguars. According to his bio, he also worked as editor-in-chief of Pro Football Weekly and for the NFL Alumni Association and the Miami Dolphins. We love the Dolphins. We love the Panthers till they lost last night. Well, they lost in Tampa. I mean, they had to win that game. That was just against the lightweights. You got to win that game against the worst team in history, one of them. And they didn't. They lost 3-1. Aren't you distraught about that? Their playoff hopes are up in smoke, just like the make-believes here. We got pounded by Boston 6-2 right here at the Air Scare Canada Center. We got our 1,000 votes yet or what? So I want to change that poll and get off of this stuff.
One more.
One more what? One more vote? Well, let me refresh it. $9.99. The next person will be the 1,000th vote on the poll and will win a big prize. A big prize, like a pencil. With an eraser on it, no less. Can we afford those or what? I don't know. A lot of cutbacks here at QAM. A lot of cutbacks, including Chris's job pretty soon. It's been a lot of fun. We've enjoyed having you.
Right.
The Dow's down almost 100 points. What?
I said, well, thank you.
You're not going anywhere. The kind of money that your petty cash more than covers your salary.
Yep.
We're still stuck at $9.99. They're doing that just to piss me off. You do know that. All those good religionists out there. Come on, somebody out there can cast another vote, or don't we have 1,000 people listening? Probably not. We used to have.
Nobody wants the pencil. There we go, 1,000.
We got it?
See.
All right. Here's the final total. When Neil or George talk about religion, I love it, 449. It's interesting, 355. I turn it off, 139, 13.9%. Turn it off. Does anybody believe them?
No.
Lion Getchkes, no. And it pisses me off, 57, 5.7% out of 1,000 votes. Now I just go over here and I click this and I click that and I click back to here and look at that. Poll has changed, George, like magic. Woo. How do you do that? What part of the newspaper do you always read? Well, I'll save the sports section. Now, I'm not saying that just because we're on this station, but I mean, I always read the sports section. I usually read the front page and the editorial and stuff like that, letters to the editor. Do we put that on there, by the way? Editorial page?
I'm looking. I don't see it.
No.
Better add it on there.
Let's do it.
Because generally that's what I do. I read the sports section, I'll read the front page, and then the editorial page, letters to the editor, a column, stuff like that. And then I Schmidt can it. Although at least we got some real newspapers here, two of them. The Star and the Globe and Mail. And then the Sun, which is a right-wing tabloid. And then, of course, the National Post, which is not tabloid, but further right-wing than you can't even imagine. The National Post, eh? Real right-wing. Tom Andrews in the Huffington Post right now. Did we give that...
Yes. Yeah.
We did. Well, I'm just checking just to make sure. Oh, yeah, you kidding me? You got 5 listeners.
Hey, it could have been a used Band-Aid.
Okay, anybody, call the number 800 wants a used Band-Aid.
A pus-soaked Band-Aid from my knee.
Oh, you got a bad knee?
No, I just made that up.
Well, look at that. We got some votes on the new poll. That's good. Boy, I'll tell you, we were really kicking ass, our own. And Footy's still doing where you find the best burger in town. Oh, brother, it's just... It's one thing to have... I've always said in this business, see, there's some people who are scared of competition because they have no self-confidence, and usually with good reason, like Joey. But I've always said that good competition makes you better. It's good to have going. And we have horrible... Well, we got lard ass at noon, we got that tub of crap. But Footy, Can't they come up with something better over there than that? Than footsie, tootsie, putsie, wootsy? Oh, God. I think even noodles would be better than that. Maybe Luxenkugel with raisins. Tom Andrews in the Huffington Post writes, 4,000 and counting. Yesterday's killing of the 4,000th American soldier in Iraq was the latest grim maker in the Bush administration's disastrous war and occupation of Iraq, coming just days after the tragic passing of the 5th anniversary of the American invasion. Both occurred as the hollow claims by the Bush administration that its so-called military surge is working became even more obviously absurd. For months it's been painfully clear that the goal of the surge, political reconciliation that a decline in violence was to make possible, had totally failed. Now even the reduction of violence promoted daily by Bush and the Iraq War apologists lack credibility. Up to now, the misleading claim of a decline in violence in Iraq could only be made by comparing the numbers killed and wounded to last year's catastrophically high levels, kind of like standing in a violent Category 3 hurricane and claiming that it's a beautiful day comparing to a Category 5. Now, even that claim can no longer hold water. The so-called decline in the number of violent attacks stopped last November, and for weeks the level of violence has spiked significantly upward again. Meanwhile, the people of Iraq continue to pass their own cataclysmic milestones from more than 100,000 who've been killed to the well over 4 million turned into refugees. There's no end in sight for the carnage, no sign that the U.S.-backed government will be willing to compromise with its rivals, and absolutely no hope that the wishes of the majority of Iraqis that American forces be removed from their country will be taken seriously. Next month, the President will ask Congress to pass another tragic milestone by handing over $100 billion more dollars for the military occupation. That'll be the latest installment of what Nobel Prize-winning economist Joseph Stiglitz calculates will be a $3 trillion price tag for American taxpayers. Washington pundits predict that Democratic-controlled Congress will facilitate this milestone by once again rolling over and handing the President whatever he wants. But this is one milestone that we need not reach. That's why the 40-member Win Without War coalition marked the 5th anniversary of the war last week by circulating an open letter to Congress imploring it to reverse course. Addressed to Congressman Jack Murtha, chairman of the House Appropriations Subcommittee on Defense, it calls on Congress to stop funding the war, support a diplomatic offensive, stop funding the construction of permanent military bases in Iraq and military contractors, and refuse to fund any permanent security agreement between President Bush and Iraqi President Maliki unless first approved by Congress and the Iraqi Parliament. The only acceptable milestone will be the removal of the final U.S. soldier from Iraqi soil.
Spending my funds making my car run, but I didn't get real far. I got a crummy deal feeding these four wheels, maxing out my car. Can't drive around till the price goes down. I thought I could, but I was wrong. What they're pumping got my wallet shrinking, so I stopped here at Exxon. And I said, Exxon is what's making me poor, makes me irate, tapping out my cash flow. Yeah, it makes me groan when my tax real low, cause it ate up the last of my dough. Exxon is providing gas, your whole paycheck only fills up a half tank. It's so out of control, all the coin I spent asking Exxon, please don't raise it again.
Don't raise it again, or we're going to go ballistic. 10:33 at 560 WQAM. So, anywho, we got 52 votes on the new poll. Aren't you thrilled? Aren't you excited? Aren't you exhilarated?
Super.
What part of the newspaper do you always read? Comics, 9. Comics.
Yeah.
Do you read the comics?
I voted for I don't read newspapers.
Oh. I don't read the comics, ever. I haven't read the comics in years. I guess, I don't know.
I mean, sometimes there are political cartoons and comics that are
I don't read
already...
the comics. Sports, 8. I don't read newspapers, 7. Local, 7. Front page, 6. Editorial page, 3. Obituaries, 2. Yeah, that's a nice hobby. Now, let's see who died. And then you get, when you finish reading, you think, well, I'm still alive, And then about 5 minutes later, massive heart attack, you're dead. Just because you're so evil and insensitive. World, section 2. Dear Abby, 1. Coupons, 1. Classifieds, 1. Business, 1. National, 1. Crosswords, horoscope, and state, none.
Yeah.
Crosswords, you finally got one.
Oh, okay. Are you going to wait until... okay.
What?
Were you going to wait until they got a vote?
No, I just checked because I'm a little bit behind here. There's 3 more votes on the thing after I printed this thing out. Oh, hang on a second. The phone's ringing.
All right. And here I don't have any music queued up. By the way, we're going to have a seminar. Hopefully it'll be... it's all being arranged. Hey, Steve Sloan, come in here. I want to talk about this seminar. On handicapping, how to bet on the horses seminar with an expert right there in our face at our table, hopefully. And she can point to the board and explain what things mean and show me how to do a wheel.
I almost fell and broke my neck.
Sure.
That would have been
That's
bad.
what you get, being rude.
That bitch, the lady from the driving school is driving me nuts.
You don't know how to drive?
No, it's not for me. It's for Paco, obviously. First, she called me on my BlackBerry, on my cell phone, and then after I finished talking, now she calls on the other number because I had been trying to call her yesterday and they weren't answering their phone. So I guess it left it left the numbers. Go away, Rosanna, or whatever. Go back to Mexico. She actually is from Mexico. Not ironic?
Okay, appropriate?
Yeah, very appropriate. American Airlines, the world's largest carrier, canceled 200 flights to reinspect wiring in Boeing MD-80s after federal regulators raised questions during a maintenance audit. I don't know about you. Of course, you don't fly. You don't go anywhere because you're a schlepper and you don't have any money. I can't even remember the last time I flew on American Airlines. That's how many years ago it's been. I don't like American Airlines, especially in Miami. The airport in Miami, the terminal is just always congested. In fact, the rest of the airport can be empty. And, of course, people would say, well, that's because everybody flies American. Ho, ho, ho. Well, good for them. I don't wanna. About 50 departures each were canceled at American's hubs at Dallas, Fort Worth, and Chicago O'Hare International Airports, named, of course, after the great legendary Francis O'Hare. One flight from Chicago to Fort Lauderdale, Hollywood, was canceled. No flights were canceled at Miami International, where it's always chaos and psychosis at American Airlines. The cancellations represent about 9% of their flights today. Americans checking whether a bundle of wires was installed and secured according to a FAA's administration directive. American spokesman Tim Wagner said in an emailed statement. The spokesman. It's the second time in a week that Americans had to cancel flights as the FAA conducts special maintenance audits at U.S. airlines. Carriers have come under increased scrutiny since March 6th when the agency proposed a $10.2 million fine against Southwest Airlines for flying 46 jets without required fuselage inspections. Many inspections have already been completed. The aircraft are currently in service, Wagner said. We're in the process of completing the inspections on the remaining airplanes and will return them to service on a rolling basis throughout the day. Following the proposed fine against Southwest, the FAA said it would check records of more than 100 airlines by March 28th, which sounds like, what day is that, Friday? By Friday, to see how they complied with a sample of 10 agency directives. And if they don't comply, they're going to shoot all their planes out of the sky just to teach them a lesson. Don't do it again. Is that a good idea?
Yeah, it's a great idea.
Shoot them all down. Unless it's the one that I'm on Friday. That would not be a good idea. Well, go ahead and do it anyway. Okay, so we gave away that gift certificate, right?
Yes.
We took care of that. And then between noon and 1, don't let me forget, we got that Panther ticket hit. We got a Panther hit.
Ticket.
Now, has anybody ever said anything about that or explained why we do that stupid thing on there?
Let's role play this. Like, I go and talk to somebody about something, like the stream or why we're doing something, all right? And the response is, who are you? Why are you talking to me? You're just a dingleberry on Neil's ass. What does it have to do with sports? Why are you even bothering me? Anything we say.
Really?
Any question. It's like, why are we even bothering them? And their world and how they do things.
I hear more sirens coming, by the way. Maybe it's the lady from the driving school. I should have told her, I should have said, speak at Inglés, bitch. That's what I should have said. And don't call her again. Don't bug me. You hear that?
Oh, yeah.
It just goes on and on. And, you know, I'm not one of those people who's nosy, but I just wonder, are these like dead people, or are they people who just got hit, big car wreck somewhere, or, you know, curiosity killed the cat. That's why WKAT is playing Spanish or Haitian melodies now, whatever they're playing. Is that station still on the air?
You're asking me?
Yeah.
I listen to as much local radio as I read local newspapers.
I don't listen to the radio. I do listen to 680 News, though, when I'm driving to Woodbine and back. I told you that.
I listen to CDs. I don't know what's going on in the
It's an excellent station, man, and you find out where the traffic is and what's going on over here on Lakeshore and on the Gardner and over here and bop-bop-beep and boop-bop-bop. It's good. And they actually have people who sound like they belong on the air, like real broadcasters, as opposed to some of the, like that, for example. You don't hear that in like a real professional market, which this is not, of course. But nevertheless, Gary Hart is pissed off. He said the media is hyping Democratic candidates' negatives. Former Senator Gary Hart's criticizing the sensationalistic tendencies of the media in the 2008 Democratic nominating process. Appearing on CNN's Newsroom, the one-time Democratic presidential contender said the media plays a role in all this, and when producers or networks decide to recycle charge after charge after charge and go to the other campaign and ask for responses, that's what you're going to see on television. Hart, a supporter of Barack Obama, continued, I don't mean to point the finger, but it's not as if the media plays no role here. If the media focuses on budget deficits, on casualties in Iraq and elsewhere, on the failures of Bush economics, then I think the voters will tune in. The Colorado Democrat who halted his own run for the White House in '87 after intense media scrutiny of an alleged extramarital affair, Donna Rice, ruled the constant news focus on videos of former Obama pastor Reverend Jeremiah Wright. If you see nothing but Reverend Wright hour after hour, day after day, and the Obama campaign's asked to respond to that endlessly, that's the news, said Hart, adding that such coverage makes it very, very difficult for candidates to refocus on what's really important for this country's future.
The biggest names.
The best talent.
This is Neil Rogers.
Sports Radio 560 QAM.
The sports leader.
Have a heart or a liver?
No.
You fairy. Oh, what you want? Loot. People, I got it. Loot. Some tax money. Loot. So you can spend it. Loot. Check your mail for a little rebate when you get home. Spend all of it. Hey, people, buy an iPhone. Spend all of it. Buy two. Spend all of it. Tell you what, this recession, loot. Don't worry about it, honey. Loot. I'm giving you, loot, some spending money. Loot. All I want you to do for me is to spend every last dime of it. Yeah, people, a big shopping spree. Stackable washer and dryer. Spend all of it. REBATE. Pump up this economy. REBATE. Go buy a plasma TV. Oh, a little rebate. Yeah, people, your tax rebate. Spend all of it. Don't get tired. Keep on buying. Spend all of it. Just don't put it in the bank. Spend all of it. Keep on buying. Spend all of it.
Don't put it in the bank. Send it to us, man. We can put it to good use. I can take it to Woodbine and triple it for you this afternoon. 10:46, 14 before 11 at 560 WQM. The Jerk Show coming up at 2 this afternoon. A lot of rumors about that show, about the future of it, or the fact that it doesn't have one. But nevertheless, we don't want to go into that, do we?
I don't care.
Which is a backhanded way of saying, oh yeah, let's rip him an ass again. You rip him. You'll be on Friday from Grove Street.
No, there's a difference. Me acknowledging things that are going on has nothing to do with my opinion of it. It doesn't matter what they stick on in the afternoon. It's going to fail.
Now, why would you say that?
Because they'll be the ones choosing.
Once upon a time, we were kicking ass all the way through, man.
Because Joe and Clarence will be the ones deciding what will be on in the afternoon.
Oh, so therefore, well, that's a good point. It will fail. I never thought about that. George W. Bush is not stupid, Jon Stewart told a crowd in 2005. He invaded Iraq. They didn't have a weapons of mass destruction or ties to Al-Qaeda, but Iran does, so he is only one letter off, and he should be credited. The agency that brought you bogus intelligence on the Iraq War, a Defense Intelligence Agency operative who knew that a key U.S. intelligence source was unreliable, said in on meetings with then Secretary of State Colin Powell when he incorporated claims about mobile Iraqi weapons labs into his portfolio, now brings you the Iran that is actually Iraq. In a brief official history of their own agency posted on their website, the DIA confused Iran and Iraq, the Defense Intelligence Agency. Noting world crises in the 80s, the agency's report cites an Israeli F-16 raid to destroy an Iranian nuclear reactor. The discrepancy was first caught by the Federation of American Scientists Stephen Aftergood, who writes the blog Secrecy News. In fact, Israel attacked an Iraqi nuclear reactor, Osirak, in 1981. Israel hasn't attacked Iranian nuclear sites, or at least not yet. The description appears to match Israel's raid on Iraq's Osirak nuclear reactor in 81, Israeli scholar Gideon Ramez told Aftergood on his blog. Today's preoccupation with Iran's nuclear program seems to have been projected onto the events of 27 years ago. If that indeed is the case, I'd recommend a correction, he added. The Defense Intelligence Agency, which authored the report, couldn't be reached for comment. The DIA isn't the only one who's made gauche comments about Iran recently. On an official visit to the Middle East that was supposed to highlight his knowledge in foreign affairs, Senator John McCain told reporters it's common knowledge and has been reported in the media that Al-Qaeda is going back into Iran and receiving training and are coming back into Iraq. That's well known. Pressed by reporters, as Jew Lieberman was whispering into his ear, who knew there were no that Al-Qaeda was being trained in Iraq, McCain continued. We continue to be concerned about the Iranians taking al-Qaeda into Iran and training them and sending them back, he said. Only after fellow Senator Drew Lieberman, who was traveling with him, whispered into his ear, did McCain correct himself. I'm sorry, the Iranians are training extremists, not al-Qaeda. Not al-Qaeda, I'm sorry, McCain said. And so are we. We're very sorry that you're the best that one of the two major parties can come up with. A doddering old fool like you who never met a war that he didn't like, who wants 4 more years or maybe 8 more years of Bush crap. With tax cuts for the rich, and, of course, with more and more wars. There's always going to be a lot of wars. Will there always be war, especially if John McCain has got anything to say about it. He's pissed off about those years as POW. Don't think he took it lightly, you know? He's pissed off, and so he's going to go out and kill some people. Not necessarily, enemies, but just some people in general, just to make him feel better. Doesn't it make you feel better if you could go kill some people?
Yeah, I got a list.
115 votes on the poll. Now, don't be picking on jerks again.
Huh? What? Means nothing to me. It's
a lot of stories about him in the building about... See, and once again, your bad judgment about people. You just... No. It's so bad, yes.
You like to make things up. I said that he seemed like a really good guy, and I don't change that opinion. He's, seemed very nice to me. What does that have to do with his performance on the air?
Now, just yesterday, or today, or maybe Monday, you were saying that... there are people saying that he's not a nice guy.
Just this morning.
I
was saying that there are people who say that he's not.
Yeah.
He's only ever been nice to me.
All right, let's not pick on jerks, because after all, we got to be a part of the club.
Can't wait till we start
part of the
show in
team.
English.
Give me the ball, give me the ball, give me the ball. You know, that crap. What part of the newspaper do you always read? We have 115 votes. Local section 23. Local yokel, baby. Sports 21. I don't read newspaper 16. Comics 15. The front page 12, editorial page 9, obituaries 5. Oh, yeah, look at those dead people. Crossword puzzle 4, classifieds 2, business 2, world 2, Dear Abby 1, coupons 1, horoscope 1, national news 1, and state news none. Who wants to know about what's going on in Florida? Anyway. Yeah, those people that read the obituaries, those are the same ones whose idea of a fun vacation is taking a tour of all the concentration camps.
Ooh.
Dachau and Bergen-Belsen.
Do they sell souvenirs, Do they have those machines that make wax figurines?
Lampshades.
Oh.
That was bad. That was very... I can't believe you said that.
What an anti-Semite you are.
No, it's got nothing to do with that. It's got to do with the fact that why be morbid? Why do you have to be morbid? Well, what's the point of going to see it?
Oh, I agree.
We know what happened. We read about it. It's like going to the Colosseum in Rome and look at all the Christians they killed here and fed to the lions. You don't go there to see that. You go there to see the edifice. Am I right?
Right.
Remember that movie with what was his name? Richard Burton, Edifice Rex?
Yep.
Chelsea Clinton has fielded a lot of questions as she campaigns for her mother's presidential bid, but yesterday the former first daughter faced an especially awkward query for the first time. A query. Boy, she looks, man, she is so miss. I mean, we can't all be beautiful. I sure as hell know that. But do something, for crying out loud. The hair. Do something with that hair. That's the biggest problem.
I'm sure she's doing all she can.
No, she's not. Why do you say that?
I don't think it helps. She's doing all she can, but you can only do so much.
She's doing all she can to look gruesome. That's what she's doing.
Have you seen her lately?
Yes.
Doesn't look nearly as gruesome as she used to.
Well, since she was a little girl, she gruesome.
Yeah.
Campaigning at Butler College in Indianapolis, an audience member asked the 28-year-old whether the Monica Lewinsky scandal had damaged her mother's reputation. Wow, you're the first person actually that's ever asked me that question. I don't know, maybe 70 college campuses I've been to. I don't think that's any of your business, she responded, appearing a bit surprised by the question. The crowd immediately cheered loudly at the response. Yeah, you go, Chelsea, and God, are you ugly? It was supposed to be the last question of the event, but Chelsea Clinton decided to take one more, saying, I don't think that should be the last question. Maybe the last question should have been after that, is Daddy still screwing around? And is Mommy really a bull dyke? Though she's faced the glare of public life since she was a girl, Chelsea Clinton's contended with renewed press coverage after taking on a more prominent role in her mother's campaign earlier this year. The Monica Lewinsky scandal made a brief return to the news last week when newly released White House schedules indicated Hillary Clinton was likely in the White House during at least 6 reported instances of encounters between her husband and the former White House intern. She was in the house, but she didn't know what was going on in the house. That speaks real well for her ability to be like the guardian of our national security, doesn't it? She can't even secure what's going on inside that damn building. Her husband's down there on his hands and knees. Her Monica's on her. Everybody's on their hands and knees. They're trying to send the blue dress out to the dry cleaners. So, and speaking of that, I took those pants to the dry cleaners yesterday. We'll see what happens.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, was there a verdict? Did you...
Well, no, she said, the Chinese lady, she said to me, because I told her, I made up a story that the maid accidentally washed the pants in the washer, you know?
Okay.
And dried them in the dryer on slow cook.
Mm-hmm.
And they seem a little, I don't know, like they've lost their loving feeling. Yeah, I don't know. But she said, usually they come out okay, and we'll see. We'll see. Come see, come die. Yeah. She looked at me and said, you could probably afford another pair. That's what she was thinking. No, she was probably thinking, a schlepper that dresses like you can't afford the good pants. I better make sure these come out good. That's probably what she was thinking. Being the clothes slob that I am. Being the homeless-appearing guy that I am. Although, you know something, it doesn't help. You'd think that if you walk around dressing like I do, looking homeless, that the homeless wouldn't bother you. Hey, spare some change. But they still do. There's Chelsea. Oh, man, she is so meous. In fact, she's starting to look a little bit more like Mommy every day. Are you watching CNN? Oh, then there's Mommy.
There's Mommy.
No, Mommy's got better hair. She's got a do because she wants to be president. So she's spending probably a lot of money on a do. Whereas Chelsea, you know, she probably figures what's the use. And didn't she break up with her boyfriend?
Yeah, I'm following that. I don't know.
Yeah, not that long ago, a few months ago, she broke up with her boyfriend, Chelsea. But, of course, if your last name is Clinton and your daddy is Bubba and your mommy is Swillery, she can probably get all she wants, you know what I'm saying?
I'm sure.
She's probably got a blow-up doll, a Tom Brady blow-up doll. What part of the newspaper do you always read? 130. George, by the way, turned me on to a really great story here. I'll find it.
That's
it's
important.
way down on my list.
Possibly the most important story you'll read today.
Is it really?
It could change people's lives.
Is it the one about the gun in the cockpit? No.
No.
Oh, the top 10 reasons to have sex tonight.
That's right.
I'll get to that after the break.
I wonder if they have my reason on there.
Because you want to.
Yeah, because it feels good.
Oh, because you want to. I don't remember. I'm sure once upon a time it was something very an important part of my life, but I can't remember that far back.
The biggest names.
The best talent.
This is Neil Rogers.
Sports Radio 560 QAM.
The sports leader.
This is the Neil Rogers Show. This is your brain. Any questions?
Bill Clinton was exposed as an adulterer. One of his goals may have been to humiliate me publicly, but now it was my turn to show him what I had discovered. On that auspicious day, lunch was served on the grounds under an enormous white canvas tent. One of my challenges that afternoon was Fidel Castro. There was a mischievous gleam in his eye. Then he said something that left me in awe. Hilary, I have a picture of you in my office. Delicious! Almost immediately, we crashed into bed. It was wonderful to lose myself in sheer physical sensation. A few days later, Stevie Wonder called and asked if he could come over to see me at the White House. I answered, yes, you must come to see me. That night, I was ushered upstairs and told to put on a wig and hoop skirt, and he periodically broke into giggles for no apparent reason. I'm not all that athletic anymore, but the next thing I knew, I was swinging back and forth, squealing. When Stevie finished, I felt numb. Another surprise soon followed. Paul McCartney, George Harrison, and Mick Jagger. Bill didn't mind. After all, it happens.
I think George Harrison would be a good fit right now. It's 11:01 at 560 WQAM. Happy Wednesday to you. I don't even know what day of the week it is anymore.
It's hump day.
And what are we doing that that's next hour, Panther Ticket Hit. We're going to be giving away some ticket to the Panther games, who are not going to make the playoffs again. Oh, boy. Here's the thing that George passed along, because that's all he's got on his mind is getting stoned and getting laid.
Getting laid, right. What else is there?
10 top reasons to have sex tonight. Says this is from CBS News, of course, where they know all about it.
Mm-hmm.
When you're in the mood, it's a sure bet the last thing on your mind is boosting your immune system or maintaining a healthy weight, yet good sex offers those health benefits and more.
All right.
That's a surprise to many people, says Joy Davidson, Ph.D., a New York psychologist and sex therapist. Of course, sex is everywhere in the media, she says, but the idea that we are vital sexual creatures is still looked at in some cases with disgust, or in other cases a bit of embarrassment. So really take a look at how our sexuality adds to our life and enhances our life and our health, both physical and psychological, is eye-opening for many people, fly-opening for others. Sex does the body good in a number of ways. According to Davidson and other experts, the benefits aren't just anecdotal or hearsay. Each of these 10 health benefits of sex is backed by scientific scrutiny. Among the benefits of healthy loving in a relationship, and it's got a list of 10 here. This should kill some good time. Number 1, sex relieves stress. A big health benefit of sex is lower blood pressure and overall stress reduction, according to researchers from Scotland who reported their findings in the journal Biological Psychology. They studied 24 women and 22 men who kept records of their sexual activity. Then the researchers subjected them to stressful situations, such as speaking in public and doing verbal arithmetic, and noted their blood pressure response to stress. Those who had intercourse had better responses to stress than those who engaged in other sexual behaviors or abstained. Another study published in the same journal found that frequent intercourse was associated with lower diastolic blood pressure in cohabiting participants, yet other research found a link between partner hugs and lower blood pressure in women. 2, sex boosts immunity. Good sexual health may mean better physical health. Having sex once or twice a week has been linked with higher levels of an antibody called immunoglobulin A, or IgA, which can protect you from getting colds and other infections. Scientists at Wilkes University in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, took samples of saliva which contain IgA from 112 college students who reported the frequency of the sex they had. Those in the frequent group, once or twice a week, had higher levels of IgA than those in the other 3 groups who reported being abstinent, having sex less than once a week, or having it very often 3 times or more weekly. 3, sex burns calories. 30 minutes of sex burns 85 calories or more. May not sound like much, but it adds up. 42 half-hour sessions will burn 3,570 calories, more than enough to lose a pound. Doubling up, you could drop that pound in 21-hour-long sessions. That's just in one day, of course. Sex is a great mode of exercise, says Patty Britton, Ph.D., an L.A. sexologist and president of the American Association of Sexuality Educators and Therapists. It takes work from both a physical and psychological perspective to do it well, she says. 4, sex improves cardiovascular health. What did you just fax me?
Couple things. Just things. Nothing worth interrupting this great story over.
Oh, look at that. Read about what the newspapers make money on the ads. Well, I'll put that on there, the ads, although I don't think anybody reads the ad. Well, maybe they do.
Maybe I do.
Yeah. Toilet finder. Look at that. Well, I'll get to that momentarily, although part of this is missing. 4, sex improves cardiovascular health. While some older folks may worry that the efforts expended during sex could cause a stroke, that's not so, according to researchers from England, I guess all depending on what you're stroking. In a study published in the Journal of Epidemiology and Community Health, scientists found frequency of sex was not associated with stroke in the 914 men they followed for 20 years. And the heart health benefits of sex don't end there. The researchers also found that having sex twice or more a week reduced the risk of fatal heart attack by half for the men compared with those who had sex less than once a month. 5, sex boosts self-esteem. Boosting self-esteem was one of 237 reasons people have sex, collected by University of Texas researchers and published in the Archives of Sexual Behavior. That finding makes sense to Gina Ogden, Ph.D., although she finds that those who already have self-esteem say they sometimes have sex to feel even better. One of the reasons people say they have sex is to feel good about themselves, she tells WebMD. Great sex begins with great self-esteem and raises it. If the sex is loving, connected, and you want it, what you want, it raises it, whatever that means. A lot of double talk. 6, sex improves intimacy. Having sex and orgasms increases levels of the hormone oxytocin. How do you say that?
Just like that.
Oxytocin, the so-called love hormone, which helps us bond and build trust. Researchers from the University of Pittsburgh and the University of North Carolina evaluated 59 premenopausal women before and after warm contact with their husbands and partners ending with hugs. They found that the more the contact, the higher the oxytocin levels. Oxytocin, whatever it is, allows us to feel the urge to nurture and bond, Britton said. Higher oxytocin has also been linked with a feeling of generosity. So if you're feeling suddenly more generous toward your partner than usual, credit the love hormone. 7, sex reduces pain. As the hormone oxytocin surges, endorphins increase and pain declines. So if your headache, arthritis pain, or PMS symptoms seem to improve after sex, you can thank those higher oxytocin levels, whatever it is. 8, sex produces prostate cancer risk. Frequent ejaculations, especially in 20-something men, may reduce the risk of prostate cancer later in life. Australian researchers reported in the British Journal of Urology International when they followed men diagnosed with prostate cancer and those without, they found no association of prostate cancer with the number of sexual partners as the men reached their 30s, 40s, and 50s, but they found men who had 5 or more ejaculations weekly while in their 20s reduced their risk of getting prostate cancer later by a third. Another study found that frequent ejaculations, 21 or more a month, were linked to lower prostate cancer risk in older men as well, compared with less frequent ejaculations in 4 to 7 monthly.
What happens if you have more than 5 a day when you're in your 40s?
Well, then you're going to be so healthy it'll be disgusting.
Sweet.
9, sex strengthens pelvic floor muscles. For women, doing a few pelvic floor muscle exercises known as Kegels during sex offers a couple of benefits. Kegels or Kugels? What?
I just like that word.
You'll enjoy more pleasure. You'll also strengthen the area and help minimize the risk of incontinence later in life. To do a basic Kegel exercise, tighten the muscles of your pelvic floor as if you're trying to stop the flow of urine. Count to 3 and then release. 10, sex helps you sleep better. The oxytocin released during orgasm also promotes sleep, according to research, and getting enough sleep has been linked with a host of other good things, such as maintaining a healthy weight and blood pressure. Something to think about, especially if you've been wondering why your guy can be active 1 minute and snoring the next. Okay, now what's this thing you sent me about toilets?
Kegel.
Disgust and consternation turned into true business inspiration for Peter Alf of San Francisco after he visited an outrageously dirty public bathroom in the Bay Area. I thought if I were someone who had to sit down, it would be a nightmare, says All 42. The encounter laid the groundwork for MissP.com, Miss P, a new service that helps pedestrians in 18 U.S. and Canadian cities find nearby sanitary restrooms by entering the website into their cell phone's browser, then their city and current location. Bathroom aficionados also can add toilet locations and rate them on the site. You can rate the toilet. I'm sure the one that I departed in the Hilton Hotel Saturday night would not be rated highly at the present time, although I'm sure they've done a beautiful job of cleaning it up and discarding the used underwears, the somewhat soiled boxer shorts. 170 votes on here. Well, we got some people to read the newspaper, although 14% don't. I don't read newspapers. Sports 36, local 30, I don't read newspapers 24, front page 19, comics 17, editorial page 12, obituaries 8. Always read the obituaries. I mean, don't you find that a little bit, is that morbid, bizarre? I mean, what do you find that?
No comment, no opinion, whatever. Curious?
I know that my mother always used to read the obituary. She was hoping to find my father's obituary, and eventually she did. Called me up.
Hey. Oh, my God, I got such wonderful news. He's dead.
Crossword puzzle 5, business 5, world 4, coupons 3, classifieds 2, national 2, Dear Abby 1, horoscope 1, state news 1, and the ads we just put on there. Nobody yet. I mean, if you always read the ads, that's exactly what business people want you to do, just read the ad. Throw the rest of it away. Wipe your ass with the rest of it, but read the ads. Clip out all the coupons and stuff. Actually, when you come right down to it, most of the newspaper, like on a Sunday especially, you know, you have to have like a forklift to bring the newspaper in on Sunday morning because it's so heavy and there's so many sections.
Imagine being a paper boy.
And like 95% of it's ads.
Yeah.
Ads, flyers, and advertising sections, and coupons. Flyers, and coupons, and great coupons, and crap.
Parade magazine.
Boy, what a memory you got. They still have that Parade magazine?
I reckon.
Now, there's that blonde chick again on CNN. I happen to think I'll give her a 10. I think she is really smoking. I could be wrong. Look at that. The Dow's down 125 points. Are you watching her yet or what?
Well, I'm on CNN.
Well, there she is.
You're on MSNBC.
You don't like her?
He's on MSNBC.
Oh, I am? I'm on the wrong channel then.
Get out. What is wrong with you, man? You are such a nerd.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm on the wrong news channel.
She is clean and pristine, man.
Oh, yeah, she is
really
great.
Sweet.
Ooh, she looks like intern Shannon. Like it could be a twin sister.
She looks a lot better than that.
Intern Shannon looked exactly like that. I'll send you a picture. Like that could be her sister. Matter of fact, Shannon looks better.
Would be.
Once there was a senator who was caught indulging a habit. A boogeroo, not much different like a typical neocon faggot. Oh! Hands up to Larry, we all thank you for giving writers something funny to do. You're looking for guys who make you go, aye, aye, oh. Larry Craig, thank you. Or tapping your shoe.
You fairy,
News stories last a few days, but you refuse to go away. Republicans are primarily gay.
Absolutely.
Hands off to Larry with cheeks apart. We all invite you to inhale our farts. The neocon ride likes to insert and go. Larry taking no crap when he's tapping his shoe.
Gay, 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 I never have been gay. Gay, 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 I never have been gay.
Hands off to Larry, he wants to stay, but his own party wants him to go away. The religious right wants him to say, Larry Craig will spread his legs for you.
Oh, you know what?
He wants a man to screw.
What?
And any guy
I tore up and threw away that thing. We got to give away another one of those certificates tomorrow on the show. So you better fax me that again for tomorrow.
You
know what I'm saying?
I got it.
You heard me tear it up and throw it away. You didn't say nothing.
Do it right now. I don't care.
It says right on there, give one away on Thursday the 27th.
That's because I don't care.
Well, that's very nice.
Jimmy
you don't care about
Crack-Corn.
the audience getting something nice for free?
Yeah, of course I do. Look,
You
tomorrow
have to
would
say
have
I
come.
don't care. You know, you talk out of both sides of your ass all the
Tomorrow
time.
would have come. You don't understand
Just like that business
sarcasm.
about jerks being
I
a
don't.
nice guy.
I don't.
Yeah, you do.
Make
You
stuff
talk
up
out
as
of
you go
both
along.
cheeks.
Tomorrow would have come, and somebody would have said, "Hey, don't forget, you got to give away another one of those
No, it
things."
wouldn't have.
And then I would have
Who would have
faxed it
said
to
that?
you.
Like somebody takes an interest in what's going on in the show? Maybe Flea
Lee
would have said that.
Lee would have, and then I would have said, "Okay, I'll fax it back to him," and we would have done it. What are you all
Just
worried
fax
about?
it now and shut up.
See?
What are you going to do about him, Chris? He's just getting really ornery these days.
You'll
Probably
get
because
to
he's
see
not
him.
getting laid enough.
I'm not.
I don't know. Oh, tell us again about how you're going to get laid this weekend.
Well, not this weekend. I'm staying
And
home.
tonight and tomorrow and yesterday and the day before that.
Maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow.
2 weeks from Sukkot.
Probably tomorrow.
This could make for one odd family reunion, it says here. Barack Obama is a distant cousin of actor Brad Pitt, and Swillery is related to Pitt's girlfriend, Angelina Jolie. Is she his girlfriend?
I think that's what they're called.
They're not married?
I don't know.
Who's he married to now? Is he married to her or is he married to...
I think they're married or something.
Oh, well, it says here girlfriend.
Maybe it's an old story.
What difference does it make? I mean, you know,
I'm
in
not keeping
society
track.
today, it's like nobody's married. Everybody's just screwing their
That's
brains
right.
out
That's
and
right.
making babies.
That's right.
Researchers at the New England Historic Genealogical Society found some remarkable family connections for the three presidential candidates, both Obama and Clinton, and even Insane McCain. Clinton, who was of French-Canadian descent on her mother's side, I knew it! I knew there was something there. Is also a distant cousin of Madonna, Celine Dion, and Alanis Morissette. Obama, the son of a white woman from Kansas and a black man from Kenya, believe it, can call 6 U.S. presidents, including George W. Bush, his cousins. McCain is the sixth cousin of First Lady Laura Bush. You'd think with all that singing talent in the family, she'd be able to carry a tune, Clinton senior advisor Philip Rain said, but now it makes much more sense how she snagged a Grammy. Clinton won for the Best Spoken Word Grammy in '97 for It Takes a Village. Obama also won a Grammy in that category this year for the audio version of his book, The Audacity of Hope, The Thoughts on Reclaiming the American Dream. Genealogist Christopher Childs said, "Oh boy, that used to be one of my favorite places in the world was Childs on Boylston Street in Boston, where you get a great banana split." Sure, it's long since gone, but nevertheless. Well, there's that thing about giving that thing away tomorrow. Thank you.
You got it. No, her hair used to be really frizzy. They just showed her again.
Who's
Chelsea.
that?
Chelsea.
Chelsea? Yeah, it
It's
used
still
to be
not
frizzy,
great.
now it's just ugly. Now it's
just
stringy.
ugly, right?
Stringy.
Yeah, that's a step in the right
Like
direction.
with their money, she can't afford to go get a do.
Maybe in
for
another
Christ's
10
sakes.
years, she'll
And
grow
look a
into
little
her
bit
teeth.
human. Genealogist Christopher Child said that while the candidates often focus on pointing out differences between them, their ancestry shows they're more alike than they think. It shows a lot of different people can be related, people you wouldn't necessarily expect, Child said. Obama's got a prolific presidential lineage that features Democrats and Republicans. His distant cousins include President George W. Bush and his father, George Herbert Walker Bush, Gerald Ford, Lyndon Johnson, Harry S. Truman, and James Madison. Other Obama cousins include Dick Cheney, British Prime Minister Sir Winston Churchill, and Civil War General Robert E. Lee. Obama often jokes about his cousin Cheney at campaign appearances. His kinships are across the political spectrum, Child said. Child has spent the last 3 years tracing the candidate's genealogy along with senior research scholar Gary Boyd Roberts, author of the 1989 book Ancestors, American Presidents. Clinton's distant cousins include beatnik author Jack Kerouac, Camilla Parker Bowles, wife of Prince Charles. Oh, my God, talk about a donkey puss. Wow. Is the puzzle starting to take shape now for you?
Uh-huh.
All the pieces are starting to fit together. McCain's ancestry was more difficult to trace because records on his relatives were not as complete as records for the families of Obama and Clinton, Charles said. Obama and President Bush are 10th cousins once removed, linked by Samuel Hinckley of Cape Cod, who died in 1662. Ooh, not John Hinckley. What?
That was a greasy belch.
That was rancid.
Burbly,
I didn't
bubbly.
have any bacon this morning, like, soak it all up.
What did you have?
Nothing.
Oh.
Although I got a weenie in there in the other room. I could eat it cold on the air when I come back.
Yeah?
Although I'll tell you what, I'll go get it right now.
Anybody we know? What are we going to about Neil going senile? He's losing his mind. Need a different Irish jig.
I know.
Or is that a reel? I was thinking of doing a game show on St. Patrick's Day, but we missed the opportunity. We could play different pieces of Irish music and play reel or jig.
I can't. I got no weenies. I got a bratwurst in there, but I'm sure it's not going to eat it.
There's got to be a delivery service there in Toronto for a big shot like you. For a big shot like you. Bring your stuff right there.
Listen, I don't need any more fat, okay? I don't need any more calories, any more food,
You're right.
any
Good
more
point.
carbs,
Good
any
point.
more fat.
The walking to the store for the food is the only exercise.
If I told you what I weighed on the scale this morning, you would
don't.
plots right there. I'm not going to do it.
Don't.
It was not good. It was the highest I've weighed in years. And that's because I haven't been getting on the scale every day.
You need to get on your feet every day.
Pitt and Obama are ninth cousins linked by Edward Hickman, who died in Virginia in 1769. Ben LaBolt, a spokesman for the Obama campaign, declined to comment on the senator's ancestry. Clinton and Jolie are ninth cousins twice removed, both related to Jean Cusson, who died in St. Sulpice, Quebec in 1718. St. Sulpice. It's a frog thing, you know. The New England Historic Genealogical Society, founded in 1845, is the oldest and largest non-profit genealogical organization in the country. Maybe I'll heat up that bratwurst in there. How's that sound?
All right.
Maybe I'll put it on the flavor wave.
Sure.
Well, no, it's not. I mean, I'm sure that they're pre-cooked, but nevertheless.
Right? No, you don't want a cold brat.
It's a white weenie. What? No, you can't eat cold brats. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, man, just the thought of that makes me want to gag. So it would be like taking those pants to the cleaner, which Chris and Zach especially. Zach is a slob, okay? He really is. He's a good guy, but
nothing
he's a
wrong
slob.
with that, though.
I mean, fat people are all slobs, but he's a real slob. Oh, just wrap it up in some, in a paper, in a plastic bag from Publix, and take it to the cleaner and plop it down on the counter.
Right.
And say, speaking of plopping down, by the way, wait till you open this.
Hey, they're
oh
paid
my
to do
God.
that.
Now, it's going to be really interesting this afternoon when I pick up my laundry from the dry cleaning Chinese lady across the street.
Well, you tip her nice, right?
What are you talking about? You don't tip the dry cleaning lady.
Okay.
Well, you tip her nice. What are you talking about? It's her business.
Especially if you give her poopy pants, you might want to tip her.
Yeah. Oh, tip her nice. You tip the dry cleaning lady? I don't think
I haven't been to the dry cleaners in a long time.
Yeah, there you go. A guy like you can't afford to be going to no dry cleaners.
Right.
And that's the least that wife of yours can be doing is doing all her clothes,
It's the least, but nevertheless, you don't.
She doesn't? Who doesn't?
Every once in a while. I do. Or I go to the laundry, and I tip the laundry lady. A buck or two. She's very nice. Her name's Cookie.
My Chinese laundry lady is extremely nice. She's very, very nice and very sweet.
I mean, what's a buck or two?
I'm not going to give her. She charges an arm and a leg. It's already expensive enough. What are you talking about? What's a buck or two? I'm going to tip her. I tip the drinks people at Woodbine a loony or toonie every time they bring me a Diet Coke. Every time. They love me.
Mm-hmm.
They keep them sodas coming, man. And I'm putting my coat on the chair and running to the tea room, peeing my brains out, which is good for you, by the way.
Yeah, it is.
It's real good. Keep that flow going, man.
Good for your prostate. Not as good as sex, according to that article you just read.
Well, believe me, I've seen plenty of people at Woodbine. Maybe I'll try the other one this weekend.
Good plan. Good plan.
Best talent.
Try it down here.
Sports Radio 560 QAM.
The sports leader.
I'm going to give Ricky a blow.
Ricky.
Everybody talk about Ricky.
Ricky's on the lip is stupid. Sport fools, but they don't know nothing about radio. They're trying to make some money, but no, they're too busy helping sport. Sport fools. Ricky, 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 Ricky.
What was that noise?
Oh, let me take a look at the security monitor.
Anything to do with sports?
No, just a lot of buildings burning and carnage. My car's okay, though.
Oh, go back to the phone.
Ricky, 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 Ricky,
Yeah, but what does that have to do with that? And don't forget, we got Jerks coming up at 2 this afternoon. George ain't too happy about it, by the way.
Oh, I don't care.
11:32 at 560 WQAM. What part of the newspaper do you always read? We have 214 vote. This is our new poll. Now, what did we have in the first one? We did over 1,000 on the first one because we put it on here yesterday.
10-5.
We cheated. We had what?
1,005.
Woo! So we got 1,219 votes so far today. Our goal is 24 million. A billion. We want 1 billion votes on the poll today. Call everybody you know and say, vote on that NeilRogers.com, or God's going to smite your ass. He's going to smote you. What part of the newspaper do you always read? Sports, 46, of course, George. Anybody knows that.
Of course.
Local, 34. I don't read newspapers, 33. Comics, 22. The front page, 21. Editorial page, 16. Obituaries.
I'm dying over here.
10. Business, 8. Crossword puzzle, 6. Coupons, 4. World News, 4. Classifieds, 3. Horoscope, 3. National, 2. Dear Abby, 1. State News, 1. And the ads have got none. Of course. I mean, you show me somebody's going to take the newspaper just so they can read the ads, and I'll show you somebody really, really
I have no life.
needs some serious help. Well, we got a lot of people out there who need some serious help. But that's beside the point. So that's what we got going on there on our second poll of the day.
Hey, the person that sends stories all day, that doesn't need to send any ever,
yes.
that sends stories all day, needs to stop. This whatever multi-page, large print, several stories that they're sending today that you already have and don't care about, they need to stop.
What are they sending?
Hillary's Reverend Wright.
Yeah.
And then they got a cover story on all the pages. Larry King, some Larry King story. That might be interesting. Named least sexy TV host. Oh, gee. How'd that happen?
Named what? Least what?
Least sexy TV host.
Yeah, no kidding.
Pages and pages and pages of that. On giant print. It's like one-page story, but they print it really big for your old eyes.
Has it got a fax number on it, a return number? On the header? There's Chelsea, man. Boy, he is kite. Wow.
No, they're sending it from their computer, as a matter of fact.
Oh, my God. It's probably Eric.
No.
Doug Thompson on Capitol Hill Blue writes, for Hillary, lying ain't no big deal. He says Hillary Clinton got caught in a lie recently, a whopper about being under fire in a so-called combat zone, a well-rehearsed lie she's been telling on the campaign trail for months. When the truth came out, as it so often does in the microscopic world of politics, she shrugged her shoulders and dismissed it by saying, I made a mistake. That happens. It proves I'm human, which, for some people, is a revelation. Calling her tall tales of running and ducking for cover a mistake is a massive understatement. Her claim about being human leaves an opening that's ripe for comment, but we won't go there. Clinton's campaign for president is built on a mountain of lies. She said she brokered peace in Northern Ireland. The man who did broker the peace, and also who won a Nobel Prize for his honest efforts, says her claims are a crock. Ron Fournier of the Associated Press writes an excellent analyzation of Clinton's vague association with the truth. During a speech last week on Iraq, Clinton stretched the truth to the breaking point. I certainly do remember that trip to Bosnia, and there was a saying around the White House that if a place was too small, too poor, or too dangerous, the president couldn't go, send the First Lady. That's where we went. I remember landing under sniper fire. There was supposed to be some kind of greeting ceremony at the airport, but instead we just ran with our heads down to get into the vehicles to get to our base. Hogwash. The truth is, there was no sniper fire. Nobody ducked for cover. Bad weather, not security concerns, kept her husband from making the same trip a few months earlier. Clinton and her aide stood behind the story, which she has told more than once, until video surfaced showing the former First Lady, her daughter Chelsea, and their entourage strolling off the plane and walking calmly across the tarmac. What makes Swillery's situation unique and the Bosnia establishment so damaging, the embellishment so damaging, is the fact that the New York senators built her candidacy on the illusion of experience. Any attack on her credentials is a potential Achilles heel. As First Lady, she did not attend National Security Council meetings, did not receive daily presidential briefings on terrorism and other threats, and didn't have a top-level security clearance. Her foreign trips were glorified goodwill tours, a collection of photo ops and sightseeing trips. Let's be fair, Hillary Clinton's not the first political candidate to lie. Iowa Senator Tom Harkin lied about being a combat pilot in Vietnam. Barack Obama's padded his resume with glorified claims about brokering a deal on immigration in the Senate and about writing a bill to deal with a housing crisis. If Clinton manages to make it back to the White House, she won't be the first or last president to play fast and loose with the truth. John F. Kennedy lied about American involvement in the Bay of Pigs fiasco. Lyndon Johnson lied about a purported attack on a Navy ship to justify escalating the war in Vietnam. Nixon lied about Watergate and many other things. Jimmy Carter lied by simply claiming he would never tell a lie. Ronald Reagan lied about Iran-Contra, among other things. Bill Clinton lied about doing the nasty with intern Monica Lewinsky and lots of other things that were more important and damaging to his presidency. George Herbert Walker lied when he promised to never raise taxes. His son lies just about every time he opens his mouth. So we shouldn't be surprised that Hillary Clinton is trying to lie her way into the White House. As a career politician, she simply doesn't know any other way. Yet her lies about being under fire, used as a questionable way to justify her claim of being qualified from day one to be commander-in-chief, are an insult to every man and woman who served their nation and actually came under fire. Anyone who's been under fire in a combat situation will tell you that's not something you forget, and certainly not something that you simply misspeak about. To accept Clinton's ludicrous claims that she misspoke means accepting the fact that she misspoke at least 3 times during the campaign. Each time she added more embellishment to the story. When challenged with the facts, her first claim was that she was sleep-deprived, and because of lack of sleep, she wasn't in full control of her memory or faculties. This from the woman who wants us to believe that she'll be the best person to answer that ringing phone at 3 o'clock in the morning. Think about that sobering thought, says Dougie T. Attaboy, Doug. Rip her an ass, baby. Well deserved. She's confused. She is deranged. She's bubblehead. She's full of crap. And let me say it again. If her last name was Smith or Jones, she wouldn't get 8 votes. Am I right about that?
Amen. You bet.
Shrill. Shrill and full of crap. But she's ready from day one. She knows where the silverware is and where the fine china is hidden. She knows where that blue dress was smeared.
Oh, God.
229 votes on the poll. Not too bad. Not too shabby. Don't forget, in the next hour, we're giving away some, we're not giving away anything. But QAM is doing it. At the Carolina Ale House. Might as well start promoting it now.
Why not?
So people can go there for lunch.
Sure.
2618 Weston Road in Weston. We got a Florida Panther ticket hit. You'll go there, I'm sure, and see the QAM van. Am I right?
Right. Or the Hummer. One of those things.
And you can take your pick. Either see the Panther Capital game or the Panther Trasher game. Washington or Atlanta. But hurry, because when they're gone, it says they're just gone. They put that in every promo now, in every liner. When they're gone, they're gone. It's a Tommy thing. I got nothing to do with it.
Right.
Tommy, Tommy speaks strange. Good guy, but strange voice. Strange. Although he's a sales hole now, right?
That's right.
Still?
Still.
Is he selling anything?
I don't know.
You don't see him anymore?
I do.
And?
I don't say, hey, have you sold anything?
Well, why not?
Why
the hell not? Don't you care about whether he's making enough money to buy you some good weed or something? I mean, what's wrong with you?
He has never bought me
You are
weed.
so insensitive to the needs of other people.
Yeah,
All you care about is being selfish. You're going to get yours.
Tommy and I are good friends, and we talk about interesting things all the time, like sex
getting
and
laid,
getting laid, sex, drugs, things like that. I don't ask him about his business.
Well, just this one time.
All right. Hey, Tommy.
The best talent.
This is Neil Rogers.
Sports Radio 560 QAM.
The sports leader.
Eight sounds that you hate, but I'm an idiot, and I think they're really great. I doubt that you can handle 1 or 2, much less all 8. 8 sounds that you hate. The men from the boys, they will surely separate. I'll tell you what they are. Guaranteed you'll go, yeah. I like fingernails on a blackboard. When people crack their neck or their knuckles. When I rub styrofoam together. That just makes me chuckle. Ain't sound you can't stand, which you could tolerate if you were half the man I am. Add to the list of 8 a fork and a knife, scraping on a plate, scraping on a plate, scraping on a plate. Here's one I really love. You might want to try it. Give me feedback in my headphones. Oh yeah, that's more like it. A little more over there, a little more. Hey, sounds so unique. Now let's review so you can really freak. Fingernails on a blackboard. When people crack their neck or their knuckles, rub and styrofoam together, 'cause it makes me chuckle. I like brand new sneakers on a gym floor, raising an aluminum window when a dentist is drilling my molars. That makes me say bingo. My boy's singing on his record. Utensils on fine china. If these sounds give you the shivers, that makes you a whiner. Hey, do you go nuts if someone bites their fork like this? 'Cause I love it. Here, I'll do it again. Do you have a nervous system left? How about the squeegee wiping a window while I crack my neck? Suffer, you wimps! Suffer, wimps! Oh, wait! I got one more!
Yeah, we got that one. But nevertheless. Oh, and I should have done this toward the beginning of the show. I meant to, but never. We're still on the air.
Okay.
Dow is down 117, by the way, and I bet you the S&P is down. I'm printing out some useful crap here. One moment, please. Here we go. Well, I want to get the address of this place. The Famous.
Okay.
Not the old Famous, but the new Famous. Somebody from MySpace emailed this to me yesterday, or the other, I don't know, a few days ago. The Famous Kosher Restaurant is open at 20301 Biscayne Boulevard, Aventura. Now, this isn't the same old Famous that used to be on 6th Avenue, or on Washington Avenue, Miami Beach, years ago. That was just phenomenal, that I always rave about.
Is there any connection other than the name?
Well, how about if I read the article? It's a review in New Times. Right. Top-notch nosh, it says. The Famous Kosher Restaurant fills a coming void and then some. You know, we also had the Carnegie Deli. Wasn't that in the Gables, or was it in the Grove? Where was that?
I don't know.
Don't you remember that years ago we had a Carnegie Deli there? Boy, that was good. Man. It's said that Jewish history, along with religious holidays that celebrate it, can be summed up in 3 sentences. They tried to kill us. We survived. Let's eat.
Oi!
That's very good. At no time of year does this ultimately concise historical summary seem more accurate than now. Thursday is Purim, being last Thursday, of course. A holiday where religious rules mandate that Jews gift others with food and personally scarf down as sumptuous a feast is affordable. Even rabbis are required to drink enough wine that they can no longer distinguish one blessing from another. In April comes Passover, Pesach, with its lavish Seder dinners. And in May, Israel's modern Independence Day tradition is an alfresco feast, meaning barbecue time for most. Barbecue time? There are those, though, who think of a picnic of a Jewish deli, pastrami and corned beef sandwich on rye far more appropriate. So even folks philosophical enough to accept that the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away can't help but believe the scheduled April closing of 53-year-old Wolfie Cohen's Rascal House is a mighty poor timing on the part of somebody upstairs. Luckily, the Famous Kosher Restaurant, a bustling eat-in takeout deli with a comforting classic New York City feel, opened late last year to help fill the gap. It opened last October or something. October 14th. And how come here it is, it's March 26th. And all of this time, nobody has told us anything about it. Have we ever had anybody say anything?
Not that I recall.
Since heaping bowls of creamy coleslaw and fresh pickles, sours and half-sours, both admirably crunchy, arrive almost as soon as diners slide into their booths, appetizers aren't really necessary. But it'd be a shame to miss 2 nosh plates, potato pancakes, and fried kreplach. Well, this sounds like the old Famous, baby. The former were mostly finely grated potato with ample onion to make the crisp, crusted cakes savory. And although dietary laws make dairy products a no-no at kosher meat eateries, the Parv neutral non-dairy sour cream supplied upon request was an astonishingly good ringer. A dining companion couldn't believe it wasn't the real thing. The plumply stuffed kreplach, especially popular at Purim owing to their triangular shape, symbol of either the pockets, three-corner hat, or ears of the holiday's villain Haman, could have used more spicing in its ground beef filling. But the generous mound of fried onions topped the noodle dumplings more than compensated for the meat's mildness. Liberally salted and peppered at the table and dosed with more of the rich sour cream, the kreplach were a sumptuously sinful treat. Scrumptiously, what did I say? Sumptuous, whatever it was. I'm getting tongue-tied just reading this. I'm so pissed off. Sandwiches come regular or extra large, described as mile high on the menu. Ex-New Yorkers expecting Carnegie Deli-like creations, mountains of drippingly juicy fat meat, too big to even get a Sandra Bernard-sized mouth around, will likely be disappointed. An allegedly extra-large two-meat pastrami corned beef combo on very small slices of rye bread was more mouse than monster, especially since slices were nearly paper-thin, minimizing any interesting chewiness. Or is that jewiness? But the flavor of the homemade corned beef and New York-made pastrami was pleasant if mild. Surprisingly, since both Nova Scotia salmon and saltier lox are available at the deli's takeout counter, the menu offers no eat-in lox and only two Nova items, a Jewish Western salmon/veg omelet and a smoked fish platter with choice of bagel and light-textured Parv cream cheese, plus green leaf lettuce, tomato, pepper, and onion and cucumber. The quality of fish was sparse, but the quality was high. Let me say it again. The quantity of fish was sparse, but the quality was high. Properly custom carved from slabs, the slices were silky yet firm, unlike standard mushy, pre-sliced smoked salmon. With per-pound prices relatively low, takeout is the way to go for smoked salmon mavens. From chicken soup to bargain-priced mains under $20, with super salad plus two sides, including the latkes, there is much more for eat-in diners to enjoy, at least to get you through Pesach. Well, that's good. This is written by Pamela Robin Brandt in New Times. As a public service from us. I wonder if Footsie knows about it yet. Where's the best deli in town? Is it the famous kosher restaurant? Is it the... I wonder if the deli den is still open in its 18th reincarnation in Hollywood.
And if they are?
The guys blew his brains out.
Did he?
Yeah.
Damn.
I think it's when they wouldn't let us play Sofa King anymore on the air.
I don't blame him.
But at any rate. So here's the ad, which I Googled. I looked it up. Oh, you can download the menu. The location is 20301 Biscayne Boulevard, Aventura. They're open Sundays 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. They have a Sunday breakfast 8 to 3. That's supposed to be something special. Monday through Thursday 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. Friday 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Oh, that's right. It's a kosher place, so they close at 3 p.m. on Friday. They don't want to be open at sundown. We're burning hell. And Saturday open 1 hour after Shabbos till 12 midnight. How do you know when it's 1 hour after Shabbos? Hour after sundown?
You start your watch. You start your timer. You look it up in the paper.
It says, oh, I see. They had a contest here with face painting, balloon art. They had a whole big thing for the grand opening. How come nobody ever signed them up to be on our show, huh?
Right.
To promote it?
We missed out on face painting. Damn.
No, I'm talking about the food, about the famous kosher restaurant in Aventura. How come nobody in our sales department ever got them on the air? What kind of a joint are we running here anyway?
I could have been a cat.
You could have told Tommy to go call on them, for Christ's sakes.
Or for ours.
Yeah, for your sake. I wouldn't have given any of it, although maybe when I'm down there, I'm going to check this place out. It opened October 14th, 2007.
Bet you they have really good kishki, too.
I wouldn't be surprised. In fact, you know what? During the break,
with gravy?
Maybe I'll check out the menu. Or certainly between now and 2 o'clock. I'll check out the menu. Probably not a good idea for me to do that.
Maybe some nice brisket. Nice lean
brisket. Tisket. Let's check out their brisket. And some great potato latkes and maybe some kishki would be great. I haven't had good kishki in years. Since the Goyim took over the local deli here, the one I used to get my kishki, remember?
Mm-hmm.
But the Goyim took it over, now they got like all kinds of stuff for Goyim. And people from India and stuff like that, and Chinese people. Oh my God. Lots of Chinaman. 252 votes on the poll. What do they read in the newspaper most? The sports section, of course. 52. What part of the newspaper do you always read? Sports, 52. I don't read newspapers, 40. Local, 39. Editorial page, 25. Comics, 25. Front page, 23. Obituaries, 11. What a great hobby.
biggest names.
The best talent.
This is Neil.
Mark Morgan. It's the 12 to 1 hour on QAM.
Whoa, I'll be good. Told Hillary I would now. I'll be good. And I'll behave like I should. Oh, seriously. So good. So good. I swear to you. Whoa, I'll be nice. And I'll control my vice. Truly, I'll be nice. Hillary won't tell me twice. Hey, so nice. So nice. I swear to you. Whoa, Daddy. They won't let me play my horn. They say I'm too horny as it is. I know sometimes in my life I've done some things that were wrong. But when I campaign for my wife, I promise I won't do any harm, and I'll be good. Told Hillary I would. I'll be good. At least I think that I could. So good. It's so good. I swear to you. But of course my fingers are crossed.
Well, here's some good news from India. They rescued that 2-year-old girl. She was trapped in that well, and for many, many hours, and they rescued her. I hope she's got a good dowry, though.
Oh, yeah.
Because otherwise,
set fire to her, yeah.
Oh, yeah. One of these days, when she least expects it. Well, I had something really... Oh, yeah, I checked the menu, and they have kishki. Of course.
All right, with gravy?
Of course with gravy. What do you think, like dry? Like chazarai, dry?
I want to make sure, you know. I don't know how
dry anu, man.
Dry what?
You better get with it.
Dry anus.
Dry, yeah. Oh, let's get back to that anus cleansing story from yesterday. That was good.
Start eating
some
now.
Heavy-duty stuff. No, anyway, their menu looks unbelievable, man. It's really, Well,
someone should call on them then.
No.
Yeah.
Why would we want to do that? Then Neil might actually have a spot. Or maybe we could get him on that 2-for-1 thing we got going.
Yeah. I heard you had a soft spot.
They believe me. Trust me. That's all I got. I'm doing fine, okay? For an old fart like me, I'm doing okay.
Good.
What are you eating now? You're not doing so fine. You're
sandwich.
From Howie's?
Howie's, yeah, 9-inch Cuban.
Is success... Can I just move on? There's nothing to say after that, okay? There's nothing to say after you blurt that out.
It's pork.
Now, what's Chris eating? Are you also eating?
Yes, I had a turkey sandwich.
You had? You inhaled it?
I had it earlier, okay, about an hour ago.
So, in other words, Nudnik there is just getting around to eating now? Is that?
I say
because it's noon. It's lunchtime,
right.
baby.
You bet. So, guess
lunchtime. A ceasefire critical of the improved security situation in Iraq appeared to unravel this week when a militia loyal to radical Shiite Muslim cleric Muqtada al-Sadr began shutting down neighborhoods in West Baghdad and issuing demands of the central government. Simultaneously, in the strategic southern port city of Basra, where Sadr's Mahdi militia is in control, the Iraqi government launched a crackdown in the face of warnings by Sadr's followers that they'll fight government forces if any Sadrists are detained. Any sodomists are detained. By 1 a.m., Arab satellite news channels reported clashes between the Mahdi army and police in Basra. The freeze-on offensive activity by Sadr's Mahdi army has been a major factor behind the recent drop in violence in Iraq, and there were fears that the confrontation that's erupted in Baghdad and Basra could end the lull in attacks, assassinations, kidnappings, and bombings.
All of these things.
As the U.S. military recorded its 4,000th death in Iraq, U.S. officials in Baghdad warned again this week that drawing down troops too quickly could collapse Iraq's fragile security situation. There's only one war that's going on. It's a civil war, and we're the ones who created it, okay? We created the situation, a vacuum of leadership there, and we created this civil war there. That's the war that's going on.
Shut up, commie. Why do you hate America?
Pentagon officials said that military leaders are watching for any signs of backsliding as they consider whether to keep drawing down troops below pre-surge levels. President Bush spoke about the death toll, saying, "One day people will look back at this moment in history and say, thanks God there were courageous people willing to serve because they laid the foundations for peace for generations to come." Even as he spoke, the situation on the ground was rapidly deteriorating. On Sunday, a barrage of at least 17 rockets hit the heavily fortified Green Zone and surrounding neighborhoods where both the U.S. and Iraqi government headquarters are housed, according to police. Most of them were launched from the outskirts. I don't want to read this. It's too depressing. So far this month, 27 soldiers have been killed in Iraq. Of those, 16 or 59% died in Baghdad. In January, 25% of the U.S. deaths happened in Baghdad, or 10 out of 40. But so far this month, 27 already. Civilian casualties also are on the rise in Baghdad after a record low number through November, when at least 76 people were killed, 306 injured. The deaths began to rise. December crept up to 88 people killed, 100 in February, 172 in February, and as of in March 24, at least 149 killed, 448 injured. There's bloodshed and chaos is what's going on. But the media don't want to be bothered with that because they're busy talking about crazy preachers and stuff like that. And there's the shrunken head on CNN.
When it comes to foreign policy is not the way to go, and he's even going
Dana Bash. She is one of the weirdest. I mean, I realize it's supposed to be journalism, although it's not.
Right.
One of the strangest creatures. Dana
You're
Bash.
right. Strange creature is right.
And your buddy Lou Dobbs, man, he's screaming and yelling about the poor middle class and about the outsourcing of jobs and all these damn illegal aliens, and let's send all the Mexicans back except his wife. Like that. How are we doing on the poll? Kind of slow down on this baby here, Chris. You're not going to make your 10 million votes. 283 is all we got. Let's set a goal of like 450.
Okay. I was thinking about, 900, but okay.
Join WQAM right now at Carolina Ale House at 2618 Weston Road in Weston for a Florida Panther ticket hit. Stick it in the ticket. Get free tickets to see the Panthers take on either the Washington Capitals or the Atlanta Trashers. Hurry, because once they're gone, they're just gone. So look for the QAM van or the Humper.
Right, look for the QAM Hummer.
2618 Weston Road in Chuck Heston, Weston. Well, that famous kosher deli sounds really good. I think we got one fax about it, and we always get these faxes saying, is this the real, is this the original? No, it's not the original one, but nevertheless, it sounds pretty damn good. It would sure be nice if we got some faxes with some reviews on it.
Yeah.
Somebody who's actually eating there instead of pining away. But what are we going to do? The Rascal House is going. All the old rascals aren't going to have anywhere to eat anymore. Well, there's a place right there in Aventura, okay, which last time I checked isn't that far from the Rascal House. What is the Rascal House, about 170th?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't remember the last time I was there. Wait. I've never been there.
You've never been to the Rascal House?
No. Am I missing something?
You've never been
Oh, my God.
to the Rascal House?
Went to Pumpernicks once.
What about Wolfie's?
No.
You were never to Wolfie's?
No. Corky's. Many times.
Wolfie's was better than Corky's.
I'll have to take your word for it.
Corky's, the best thing they had going, of course, was the brisket and the potato pancakes.
Well, guess what I'd have?
Great. Those little potato lockies like they used to bring us in when they were in business.
You bet.
How come they don't bring them in now that they're not in business?
I don't know. Coincidence.
And what about Wayne Arnold? He must be reopened now that Tootsie's got him on the pole.
I don't think so.
What?
I don't think so.
No?
We would know. He would not reopen without telling us.
Well, how can he tell us? We don't take any calls, and Fats are there. He's not going to answer the phone when we're not putting him on the air.
He knows how to get a hold of us.
And how's that? How did he ever get a hold of us besides calling in? Yeah. You're blowing smoke, all right. Oh, we're awaiting Senator McCain's foreign policy speech on CNN. We don't have to wait for CNN. I can tell you what he's going to say.
Bum, 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 bam.
Yeah, that's it. Crazy person, man. Insane McCain. And Drew Lieberman, boy, that would be a hell of a ticket. Guaranteed to lose. 287 on the poll. You got to get to 300 before we can get to 450. I'll tell you that. It's pretty slow.
That's what I heard.
Maybe that what? They don't like this poll, I guess. Sorry, Brandon. Brandon's not communicating with us today anyway. I don't know. Well, what's the story now? It's spring break. In fact, there's a thing in one of the local papers. I figure whether it's the Herald or the Sun Sentinel. Got a big picture of some guy lamp post in spring break in Fort Lauderdale back in the late 60s.
Yeah.
Looking for some elbow room. Those were the days, baby, before all the politicians and all the old folks drove the kids out. Oh, we don't want to have that. They create too much of a fuss, and there's all this drinking and stuff. Listen to that. See?
Wow.
Boy, talk about timing, man. I still got it. The sirens are coming for all those spring breakers, all those punks. Send them back to Daytona. Send them to Panama City. Send them someplace else. Send them to Cancun. Any place else. Because we sure don't want anybody under the age of 100 in South Florida. God forbid. Oh, and speaking of crazy people, she's at it again, Sally Kern. Oklahoma House Representative Sally Kern made an Easter Sunday appearance at KFOR TV's Flashpoint to face off with an openly gay pastor, elaborating on her recent leaked speech and defending her views. A spirited theological and political debate ensued between Representative Kern, host Kevin Ogle, panelists Burns Hargis and Mike Turpin, and Dr. Scott Jones of Oklahoma City's Cathedral of Hope. I was speaking to a group of Republicans, grassroots Republicans, Kern explained of the original speech, which gained worldwide attention after posted on the Internet by the Gay and Lesbian Victory Fund, and I was talking about the homosexual agenda and how they're out there putting forth, funding very heavily, homosexual and pro-homosexual candidates to run against and defeat conservatives across the nation. Like Charlie Crist, for example. I did talk about what I believe. Scientific evidence, healthcare, proves that the homosexual lifestyle is a dangerous lifestyle. And yes, I did compare it to being more dangerous than terrorism. And my point in doing that, gentlemen, was this. Everybody knows that terrorism destroys and tears down, and that was the only analogy I was making, is that the homosexual agenda, this lifestyle which is so destructive to individuals, is at the heart trying to tear down what is the bedrock foundation of our society, the family and traditional marriage. You don't really believe that, Scott, asked panelist Michael Turpin of Pastor Jones, is more dangerous than Osama bin Laden, do you? I believe that he, with the homosexual agenda and the lifestyle it involves, is deadly to the nation. Now, I wasn't saying that Scott here is personally as dangerous as Osama bin Laden, but I was just making a comparison to prove my point, she said. Well, I would denounce hate speech of any kind, rebuts Jones, and have in my public remarks in response to yours. And you have to understand that when you say that gay people are like cancer, and cancer is something that we eradicate, that we kill, or that we're worse than terrorists, and terrorists are people that we go after to annihilate, to kill, you have to understand why those words would outrage people, because what are you saying? That we should go after gay people and eradicate them or annihilate them? I wasn't saying that you guys were a cancer, the legislator said to Dr. Jones. I was saying the effect is the very same as cancer. If God's people don't stand up and proclaim God's word, which teaches that homosexuality is a sin, and if we just try to ignore it and let it become mainstream and take on the mentality that you folks want, that it's a normal lifestyle, then that's going to spread through our culture, and we'll no longer have the same kind of culture we've had for over 200 years. That's all I meant. You have to understand, appeals Jones, that there are multiple churches, Christians, denominations, highly respected scholars who disagree with your interpretation and application of Scripture. Sally asked Turpin, if you had a gay child, I would love them as much as anybody else, Representative Kern answers. I would love them more than any of my other children because they would have a greater need. Kern also weighs in on her son, answering allegations that he was gay bashed on a 1989 arrest of Jesse Jacob Kern on oral sodomy charges. In 1989, my son Jesse Aaron Kern was 12 years old. We live in Boise, Idaho. He's never been arrested. He's never been interviewed. And he said, I am straight. But if he were, I'd love him, she continues, because God created us all in His image. God's got a wonderful plan for every single one of us. Sin is out to destroy God's plan. She goes on and on about the gay agenda and yada, yada, yada. She's almost as crazy as my neighbor, but let me say it again, almost.
The biggest names.
The best talent.
This is Neil Rogers. The sports leader.
Neil? God?
Is it done orally, or does it involve your behind?
Rectum.
Strom Thurmond thinks that only gays do this.
Absolutely.
Most states have laws. You could be jailed or pay a fine. The Senate now must pick which orifice. Oh, sodomy. Peter Pump for caboose ride. Archback or on bended knees.
You fairy.
Oh, sodomy. The front door's the back side. Just go and ask Ted Kennedy.
As long as my face is in the Senate, you'll have a seat.
People without health care, folks lacking livelihood. The way they act is really what is lewd. Well, there's Helms, D'Amato, Specter, and horny Bob Packwood. No matter where you stick it, we get screwed. Lobotomy. The Senate's lost its mind. There's hunger, drugs, and crime, God knows. Lobotomy. They're saving all mankind.
8 at 560 WQAM. There's Insane McCain.
About substantially reducing.
Oh, my God. He's just a maniac. So I printed out the entire menu from the famous kosher restaurant in Aventura.
The soon-to-be famous kosher restaurant, right?
It is unbelievable. What do you mean by that?
Well, you're making it famous.
It's got a big write-up here in New Times, for Christ's sakes, with a whole menu. I mean, who's more powerful, New Times or...
Neil, God!
I mean, you're thinking about back in the day when we had an audience?
Hey, now.
Back in the day when we were moving it and shaking it?
Yeah.
They got potato pancakes, they got stuffed cabbage, fried kreplach and onions, kishka, gefilte fish, chicken fingers, buffalo chicken wings, smoked salmon. These are just appetizers. All kinds of salads like white tuna, omelets, like the famous Jewish Western omelet with no onions, peppers, and mushrooms, grilled franks and knishes. They got the famous meat knish, the frank knish, hot dog on a bun, knockwurst on a bun. How come I'm giving him like a whole spot here? Because I think it's a revelation, baby.
Right.
I think it's in the Bible.
And maybe somebody will, put them on the air. This is just a little freebie, like a little taste.
I doubt it. Homemade chicken soup with noodle or rice or with matzo balls or kreplach. And then they got soup a day, like every day they got something different, like mushroom barley on Sunday. I love mushroom barley. Wednesday it's lentil, and Thursday split pea. You ever take a split pea?
Just this morning.
Mishmash salads. Mishmash. And then they got entrees like stuffed cabbage and rotisserie chicken and chicken cutlet and smothered chicken breast and chicken in a pot. George will take the pot part. Fresh brisket. There you go. A tasket, a tisket. Let's try out that brisket. Hungarian goulash. Sweet and sour tongue polonaise. Oh! We were doing so well till we got to the tongue. Flanken. Oh, what a menu. Ribeye steak. Smorgasbord. Kasha varnishkas. I mean, this is like spaghetti marinara, spaghetti meatballs. You shove in your meatballs, your sausages, a little wine. Boy, and they got all kinds, of course, of sides like macaroni salad and potato salad and kasha varnishkas and mashed taters and potato pancakes and Greek olives. And, of course, the gigantic sandwiches, the mile-high sandwiches. All of the reviews said they're not that big. Well, they don't have to be gigantic. You don't have to gag on it for it to be good.
No, but it helps.
Corned beef and pastrami and brisket sandwich and roast beef and beef tongue. Ooh, turkey breast, salami. And they've also got desserts. Chocolate or raspberry cigar. Cake, Hamantaschen. They got Hamantaschen. Oh, my God. Also available in no sugar added. They've got a whole bunch of things on here that have rugelach. Remember the day the lady brought the rugelach, almost killed me on the air? Apple strudel, Russian coffee cake, baked apple, 7-layer cake, Danish, Swedish, Goyish. All of these things. Wow.
All of these things.
That's pretty exciting. I'm going to put that menu right over here. I'm going to check that place out next time I have a chance. In Aventura. I'm going to go in and say, I'm the famous Neil Rogers. Oh, yeah, you're looking for a free meal. Yeah, you should live so long. I'll tell you the other place I really like a lot, and I only was there twice, and I still have their menu because I liked it so much. 2J's. Only I think it changed ownership, and when I went there the second time, they didn't have the same omelet that I wanted from the first time.
Okay.
I could be wrong about that, but it was very good. 2J's, and I guess they're all over the place. It's a chain. Oh, yeah, look at this on the back of the menu. Plantation, that's the one I went to on University Drive in the Fountain Shops. Are they still there, by the way?
Good question.
Because you told me you've been there more than once.
To 2J's?
No?
So that must have been somebody else.
Maybe it was Cordis. Somebody told me they'd been there. What about you, Chris? You're a big eater.
Nope.
You never been to 2J's?
Never heard of it.
Must have been Yash.
Toojay, 2J's. They're in Coral Springs, in Boca, Plantation. They're all over in Boca. Lake Worth, Palm Beach Gardens, Jupiter, Stewart, Vero. They're not in Dade County. Well,
yeah, that would be Josh then.
What do you mean by that?
Because he lives north up there.
He lives like in the Plantation area, thereabouts. Pompano, somewhere up there, northwest.
Coral Springs,
thereabouts.
Banana Dream dessert. Oh, and you know what I had for dessert before I had pooped my pants at Ruth Chris Saturday night?
I don't know, creme brulee.
No, they did have that. In fact, Paco Taco got that, but he didn't finish it. He loves that, but didn't finish it because that's when he got into his debate with his buddy.
I see.
But at any rate, I got that, what do they call it? Banana cream pie. What the hell do they call it? Caramelized.
Ooh.
Caramelized banana cream pie. You know how creme brulee, it's got that same caramelized topping, you know, where they take
they nuke it with the blowtorch there.
They take a blowtorch.
That's great. Oceans 234 has wonderful creme brulee, by the way.
They nuke the top of it, and boy, the caramelized banana cream pie. Oh my God! I almost had time to finish it. Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. We're going. Maybe that's why my stomach was upset. No, it's that butter again, you know. They broil the steaks in butter, and if you're sensitive to butter, if it makes you get the squirts, man, let me tell you right now, say, "Oh, hold the butter, please," because otherwise you might have a meal experience. You'll be kneeling.
I can't take too much butter. It shoots right out my ass.
Rectum.
Pepper and paprika blew me to the can.
No, I can't take squash and asparagus. And coleslaw gives me gas. When there's too much butter between the buns, then I get the
I can't take too much butter. I can't take it at all. My ass burns from Olestra. And especially sorbitol.
No, my feet start tapping in a quick step. I gotta grab a hold of my pants. It ain't that I don't like to eat butter. I just can't take the chance. No.
I can't take too much butter. It goes through me too fast. Every time I eat it, I have to change my pants. I can't take too much butter. It shoots right out my ass.
Biggest names.
The best talent.
This is Neil Rogers.
Sports Radio 560 QAM.
The sports leader.
The media is sick and needs help badly.
Absolutely.
Come on, now tax me, babe. Uncle Sam, take all the money that I made. You fairy. And while you're at it, audit me. To add insult to injury. Just take my firstborn baby. Now I'm taking deductions out the old yin-yang. I'm gonna find some tax loopholes just to make those weasels piss. The IRS. Come on, now tax me, babe. Tax my dog, tax my freaking toupee. Tax my patience, tax my sanity. Yeah, I'm gonna lose it anyway. By April 15th, that dreaded day.
12:31 at 560 WQAM. Boy, the sun is shining here. It's beautiful, man. Why is it that people who predict the weather are so full of crap? I mean, once in a while they get it right, but then you and I could do that just...
Right, by looking outside.
Yeah, that's right. Look outside and
it looks
stick
like
your
rain.
finger out the window.
Take an umbrella.
Sunny and 38. It's going to be 40 today. Oh, hallelujah. Oh, a happy day. And no snow and no wind blowing like crazy like the world is coming to an end. And speaking of good things, God is good, says $1.1 million slots winner. Remember I told you about the lady who won the $9 million at the Casino Ram up in Barrie here a couple days ago? Well, here's a lady right there in Margate who says God is good. A hardworking home health aide from Margate who couldn't afford health insurance for herself is now likely the biggest casino jackpot winner in Florida history. Well, that's because we're just getting the slots going, baby. You wait till this weekend when I'm there. I'm going to be dangerous. I think I ought to go to Gulfstream.
Yeah, I think you should.
Pompano.
They got Wheel of Fortune there.
Yeah, quarters, dollars.
$1, $5.
$5.
Yeah.
You know how much you can lose on a $5 machine like in 20
No, but
minutes?
I bet you'll tell me or show me.
Paulette Miles, 48, was down to her final spin on a Progressive Jackpot Cash Cow Class 2 electronic gaming machine at Seminole Coconut Creek Casino Saturday night, and it turned out to be a good machine, man. She hit the button and won a record $1.1 million. Good machine, man. This is wonderful. Now, instead of having to work 7 days, I only have to work 5 days a week, said Miles, reached by the Herald via her cell phone this morning, as she was leaving the home of a patient she'd been caring for overnight. Miles, an immigrant from Jamaica, said she's using her winnings to pay off her mortgage, pay off her car loan, buy herself health and life insurance, help her niece with her college tuition, help her needy family in Jamaica, and pay the taxes from her jackpot win. See, there are taxes on your winnings there. Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
Oh. You finally get lucky and you win something and they make you pay tax. And I'll guarantee it's like 40%. At least. Isn't that disgusting? There's no tax when you win at the track here or at the casino. They give you the cash or they write you a check. Have a good time. Have a great life. The rest, she said, will be saved for emergencies and to build a retirement nest egg. God decided to bless me for a reason. I will not waste my blessings on things that aren't necessary, she said. I will not waste it on things like a vacation. Steve Bonner, general manager at the Seminole Coconut Creek Casino, said Miles hit her jackpot shortly before 11 o'clock Saturday night. She was playing one of the nickel machines, one of the progressive electronic gaming machines, that for a year now had built up a jackpot of over $1 million, Bonner said. We were wondering when somebody would finally hit the jackpot. The nickel machine that Miles was playing builds its jackpot because it's linked with all the other progressive nickel machines at the Seminole Tribe's 7 Florida casinos. Bonner said Miles won the $1.1 million jackpot because instead of betting one nickel at a time, which entitles you to play just one pay line, she was playing all 27 pay lines at once. He said people who bet the maximum pay lines are the ones who win the big jackpot, which is absolutely correct. Now let's see, 27 nickels is how much? 20 nickels is $1. So it's like $1.35. Yeah. Very good. So it's like $1 machine, man, a little more than that. It's like $1.50 machine. Miles said she bet the maximum because she could afford to spend $1.35 per play on a nickel machine. See, if I would have just kept reading, I would have known it was $1.35, but we can do the math. We can handle it. I can't afford to play the quarter machines that way. That's why I play the nickel machine, said Miles, who said she plays the machines once in a while to relax and dream and has never bet more than $100 at a time. Miles said that when she hit the jackpot, she thought she'd won $5,000, but the woman playing next to her screamed that Miles had actually won $1 million. They treated me like a queen when I won, said Miles. That's how they always treat me at Woodbine, like a queen.
Appropriate.
Said Miles, who after filling out necessary paperwork with the IRS, received the amount in a lump sum. God is good, she said.
Oh, God!
Bonner said the biggest jackpot win to take place at Seminole was $800,000 7 years ago, and it also took place at the Seminole Coconut Creek. I wonder if that was the one where they didn't want to pay the guy. Remember that one?
Yeah, I do. But they straightened that out.
Malfunction at the junction. Oh, they certainly did. They straightened it out. Because he came back and said, hey, guess what? You guys owe me a bunch of money and like that. And they, oh, okay.
He said lawyer and bad press to them.
Mm-hmm.
And they straightened
things like
out.
that.
Yeah.
All of these things.
Right. Anyway, that is very nice. Hope she enjoys it. Unfortunately, she's got to pay a ton of money in taxes.
Yeah, well, I'll take it anyway.
I understand, but $1.1 million, Christ. Now, how do we know how we're doing with those Panther tickets? Is anybody communicating with us? Do we know who's out there even? Are we...
Probably early, but we can, we'll get a report.
Is this just an exercise or what?
Yeah.
Join WQM right now at Carolina Ale House, 2618 Weston Road in Weston, for a Panther ticket hit. Ticket. Stick it in your ticket, and then listen to Wilson Pickett. Get free tickets to see the Panthers take on either the Washington Capitals or the Atlanta Trashers. Your choice. Hurry, because once they're gone, they're gone. I don't know how many we had. Do we have any idea? 10,000? Probably a bunch.
But I'm going to find out.
Yeah, find out something. Find out what's going on with that, because that's a noon to 1 thing. You know, it's already 12:36. Not that I'm watching the clock or anything like that. That would be bad. There's nothing worse than people that go to work and they watch the clock. You know, when you go into a supermarket and you go through the checkout and all these young punks are talking to each other, all the employees, oh, what time's your break? What time you get off? That's all they're thinking about is when the hell they get off from work, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That's not my idea of somebody that really has their nose to the grindstone like Chris, who wants to know how early can he come in and how late can he stay. Exactly. And how many extra days can he work. That's only because he might make an extra couple of bucks.
Something like that.
Isn't that what you're thinking about when you come in the morning? How late can I stay and how much can I get done here today?
Always.
And George, he's thinking of that. How can I get done today?
Mm-hmm.
And by whom?
Right. I got an idea.
Do you? Mm-hmm. 338 votes on your poll. We need to get to 450 or else.
By the state of Israel.
Oh, boy, there he goes again. I wonder where Drew Lieberman's hiding under the podium, by the way.
They just showed him wailing at the wall.
It's like Drew Lieberman was under the podium asking, is this thing kosher? It's old, I know that. I don't know if it's kosher, Joe, but it's old. old and craggy, like Insane McCain. I mean, this is the best that we can do in the free. So it used to be free world, is to come up with this piece of dreck. Well, look who they had. They had Mitt Romney, who had that comic book appearance, and comic books were doing very well. In fact, didn't they come in second in our poll about what you read in the newspaper? People like the comics.
Yeah,
I used to. Even like Marlon Brando's grandson there. He reads the funny papers. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Now, who was that? Was that Anthony? Yeah, it was
That's
Anthony.
right.
And then, of course, after he read the funny papers, he became an opera singer. You know what that means?
Gay.
There was a lot of that in that family.
Gay.
We had the priest. Everybody can use. We can always use a good young priest.
Gay.
And then the opera singer.
Gay.
Wow. Wouldn't you have thought they'd have been a little bit more macho in that mafia family?
You'd have thought.
And then, of course, Sophia with that schnoz.
Of course, those Italians, the stories that you came back with.
What do you mean stories? It's not stories. It's the truth.
I didn't say that there were, false stories, but nevertheless.
They're the truth.
They have a different criteria there.
In Italy, there's no such thing as
gay,
unless you're a recipient of anal sex.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, you can do anything with whoever you want.
Right. It's a very...
and you're just a guy.
A lot of latitude there.
Well, that's the attitude. Bitterly disappointed, I thought on MySpace and I thought on the fax machine and all over the place, even bottles coming through the Lake Ontario, there'd be messages about the famous kosher restaurant in Aventura.
Okay.
Wouldn't you have thought?
I would have.
You get anything?
No, nothing.
You get any calls about it, Chris?
Not a fax, not an email.
Oh, we got loads
nothing.
of them. See, he won't answer the phone anyway.
Correct. It wasn't ringing anyway, for what it's worth.
How do you know it wasn't ringing?
Because I got the screen on, green lights. Unlike you. We have it.
I don't have. Why should I have the screen on? I can't punch him up here anyway.
I know, but nevertheless.
If you think I'm going to mess with that router,
I know you're not going to, but I do have the screen on, and it hasn't blinked at all.
Well, make the phone ring, okay? 567-0560. Chris will answer it if you've ever eaten at the new famous restaurant in Aventura, the famous kosher restaurant, and give Chris a spy report. See, it's going to be another minute before the delay builds up. And what's the story with the Panther ticket hit? Ticket, stick it, pick it. Ricket, what's the story?
I'm getting information. As a matter of fact, I might already have it. Let me look at my text and stuff. We had 10 pairs.
Yeah.
And we still have a couple pairs left. We're done at 1.
Okay, we got a couple of pair left. So if you wanted to go see the Panthers on us, just hit up our thing. Our
Juan is out there.
Who?
We have Juan out there.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Juan is out there at the Carolina Ale House, 2618 Western Road in Weston, for a Panther ticket hit. You can go see, whatever we got left, that's what you'll get. We got 1 pair, 2 pair. But you better hurry up. We only got 14 minutes left, because once it gets to be 1 o'clock, Juan, you won't see him no more. He'll be long gone. And once he's gone, like the tickets, they're gone. So go get them. Well, that's not so bad. We had 10 and we got a couple pair left. So some people actually came by. But the thing of it now, is the phone ringing about the famous?
Phone's ringing.
Are you answering it?
Oh, no.
Do it.
Hi! Come on, fatso, you lump.
This ought to be funny.
You know that expression about a lump of coal?
Yeah.
That's him. Lump. The human lump.
Coal is hard and shiny.
I mean, is that a lot to ask for just, not on the air or anything, just off the air?
It's because I'm sure that he knows that it's just going to be those people.
How do you know that?
Oh, I don't know it.
So in other words, you're saying that if we ever want to get any information about anything, we can't do it because those people have hijacked the phone? We know that. They're not expecting...
I wouldn't put it that way.
This is what you call catching them off guard.
Uh-huh.
They're not expecting any calls. Once they hear my voice and know that I'm doing a show on a given day, they know forget about it. There ain't going to be no calls. So they're all gathering for their meetings at Gilbert's house.
Let me try this in English. They're the only ones who call these days.
That's not what you tell me when I ask you about the show when I'm on vacation, etc. You always say you had a whole bunch of great intellectual callers.
Oh, yeah.
So what's the story, Chris? We're getting info on the famous deli?
We had 3 callers. One hung up. One wanted to talk to you because he'd never been there. And one said he's been there, but he wanted to talk to you about Wayne Arnold's place. So, yeah, that was your
look,
callers.
Another one's ringing. There's the fat one now.
Hey! What are you talking about?
Well,
what is it, Chris?
He's going to give us a blow-by-blow.
Okay, great. This is the expert on the famous...
People don't like to actually listen. You just want to know if people have been to this place, right?
Right!
Yeah, these people aren't listening. They're just calling in.
Give us a spy report if you've eaten there. Is it great? Is it like the Old Famous? Is it better than the Rascal House? Is the food great? Is the... what is something?
Lee's been
Jesus, Kate Christ, how difficult is it to figure that out? 5670560 and
Lee's been there. Want his report? I'm calling him right now.
What?
Lee Feldman has been there, and I'm calling him right now to get his report.
How do you know Lee?
One guy said he was there. The food was okay.
It was okay. Huh.
Hey,
not great.
I'm going to put Lee on speakerphone.
Is that what he said?
All right, Lee, you're on speakerphone. I usually hit on fix this way, but now we're actually talking on the air. This is the only way we can get a phone call. Go ahead, answer Neil. He wants to know about... It used to be Cat's Deli, he says.
Yeah.
Turn the radio off. You'll just get confused. Listen to us in here.
Why is he listening on the radio? Is he really that stupid?
Well, he doesn't
Come on,
know.
Flea.
So anyway, tell us how the food was.
I think he hung up on you.
I think he hung up on you.
And you're
you're on the air.
Callers? You're knocking the callers?
Wait a minute. He was off turning the radio off. How was it? How was it, Lee?
It's a good place. That place has been like 3 different places. It used to be a Red Door Thai place, and then it became a Cat's Deli, and then it was only Cat's Deli for like 6 or 7 months. Now it's the famous kosher, or whatever it's called now, but it's a good place.
You been there since it was the famous?
I've been to all 3 places, yeah.
So Lee says it's
right
good.
there in the Promenade Shopping Center over there by the Winn-Dixie right there, and
Sure.
Parks Place.
Where Power Smoothie is.
Some kind of gym there.
Yeah, the gym is good. They have hot action there. So what did you have when you went?
All I had was a bagel sandwich with some hummus. But it was good. Bagels
with
were
some
good.
hummus?
It's real. It's a real deal kosher Jewish place for sure.
Yeah, they don't open on Shabbos. They close Friday night at
All
sundown.
hardcore Hampshire Jews eat there.
Oi, any other questions for Lee?
Maybe
before I
Gary
hang up on
Sarner.
him?
Maybe you run into Gary Sarner there, and then if you do, you can ask him how come he didn't sign him up to advertise on our station.
Okay, I think we're done with Lee, right?
Thanks a lot, Flea.
All
He's
right.
gone. He ran
Bye.
away. As soon as he heard my voice, he ran.
All right, another caller called up and said he's been there since it's the famous, and it's great.
It's great. Probably the owners. That's okay. The menu looks sensational. And one thing I will tell you is this. There aren't too many bad delis, although Rimmer once took me one in Yenamsveld here. Remember that time he took me out here about 100 miles out into who knows where it was? I have no idea. I think he took me to Kingston or somewhere. I mean, I've never driven so far to get to such a mediocre place. Rimmer's favorite deli. Oy vey. The tables were so small you were knocking knees under the table, which I think is what Rimmer wanted. Oh, my God. Just to die from. Not to die for, to die from. But you don't usually find bad delis. And the reason that all the delis in town went out of business, like the Carnegie Deli, I'm trying to think where the hell it was. You don't remember it?
No.
Was it on Miracle Mile in the Gables or somewhere like that? It was somewhere down south.
No, I never hung out there.
It was great. In fact, that's not the one I'm even thinking of. The Carnegie Deli was a different one. This one began with an M. Marshall Majors. Marshall Majors, not to be confused with Stan Major.
All right, yeah, more people are saying it's great, and they want to talk to you.
I don't want to talk to them, okay? Forget about it.
Oh, that's why I hung up on them when they said that.
Good. If I wanted to take calls, we could do that. You could punch them up there, but I don't want to. Marshall Majors. Now, that was in the Gables. I'm going to Google it during the break. That place was great. And the Carnegie Deli used to be a sponsor, but I wish to hell, a long time ago, 1,000,000 years ago. I can't remember where the hell it was. They were in Broward, somewhere in Broward. Broward! Fort Lauderdale, to be exact. And it was really excellent. But the problem with the delis is that all the old Jews stole the silverware and the sweet and low, and they put them out of business. And you think I'm joking when I say that. Like Wolfies and Pumpernicks.
I don't think you're joking.
It's the true story. At any rate. You don't remember Marshall Majors?
No, I remember Marshall Mathers from that bad show.
You just haven't been around, man. You've been... Of course, it's probably 100 years ago.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you get to be 500 years old.
I told you the
like
places
me.
where I lived down here.
All the places that you used to love. You ask everybody else, oh, I never heard of that. That's because
I lived
they weren't
in
even born when you were
Yedemsveld.
going there.
When I lived down here before, it was down there, Homestead, Leisure City, Redlands. Yedemsveld.
Yeah, you told me that before. You keep telling us that.
Well, you keep forgetting it.
You never got far away from home, is that it?
Stead.
Well, I'm sure they got a lot of great kosher delis in Homestead. Yeah. For the gigantic... Of course, you don't have to be Jewish to love deli. You know who loves deli? Black folks.
Okay.
It's true.
I'll take your word for it.
I don't know what the reason is
not
for
to
that,
like?
but
it's good?
black folks love deli. What?
Because it's good, maybe?
Yeah. Like in Detroit. I remember
like
that time when Dick Purton was talking to us and I had turned him on to Lou's Finer Delicatessen. Now, unfortunately, like everything else in Detroit, it went downhill. And in the year since I left, and he tried it on my recommendation and said, oi, it was horrible. Lou's Finer Deli. And when you'd go in there, like at least 60% of the clientele would be black. Of course, that was in Detroit, but nevertheless, they had all these other restaurants to choose from. They love deli, man. Who doesn't love a great bowl of matzo ball soup, some fried kreplach? This place sounds sensational. I might just have to come down there and try it. But don't go there on Friday night because they're not going to be open, Neil. It's the Shabbos. They're real, observant. They're kosher. I'm going to sneak in some bacon. Wouldn't that be... That would be great. Just like me, wouldn't it? Being a heathen bastard, then sneak in something trafe.
Yeah, well, rub the grease on your fingertips and then touch stuff.
I can squeeze the mezuzah with my bacon grease-laden fingers.
If you rub bacon grease on your hand and then shake the chef's hand, they have to close down, right? Because he's no longer kosher.
They have to kill him.
He becomes trace.
366, you're not going to make no 450 today, man. This pull is slowed down to a crawl. I don't know what's going on today. Is there some other kind of holiday we don't know about yet, or we just...
It's Easter Wednesday.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
I thought it was Purim Wednesday, or maybe Pesach coming next month. 12:55 at 560 WQM.
Brought you a big black guy named Ben car alarm. Now bring you an old Jewish guy named Eisen.
Get away from my automobile, you big MF.
Remember when we used to boost them back in Caribbean? Yeah, we ought to get a bundle for this, baby. The white ones are cooler.
Get away from my automobile, you big MF.
What the hell was that?
I object seriously to profanity like that.
Slow down, I think somebody's coming.
Get away from my automobile, you big MF. Get away from my automobile, you big MF.
Whenever some bastard tries to steal my car, I feel safer with an old Jewish guy named Eisen.
Get away from my automobile, you big MF.
Get your old Jewish guy named Eisen car alarm now and receive a free flower antenna.
Get away from my automobile, you big MF.
An old Jewish guy named Eisen car alarm. Now available at all Zayre's stores.
Chicken Neck is still using his Zayre's credit card is what I hear. It's 1 o'clock at 560 WQAM. So I Googled Marshall Majors Deli, and you know what I found?
What?
Nothing.
Oh.
That's depressing. That was a great place. It was in the Gables somewhere. Somebody call up and tell Chris where the Marshall Majors was. Now, the Carnegie Deli, I don't have to... I did Google it. Wait till I tell you what I found. But it was in Galleria in Fort Lauderdale.
Okay.
In Galleria. The Carnegie Deli. You never heard of it?
The Galleria, yeah.
And so I Googled Carnegie Deli to find the South Florida ones, because I think there was more than one. But there was that one for sure in Lauderdale. And I found from the New York Times an article, July 30th, 2002, 2 men are sentenced to life for slayings above Carnegie Deli. Two gunmen convicted of killing 3 people and wounding 2 others in an execution-style shooting above the Carnegie Delicatessen in Midtown Manhattan were sentenced to life in prison yesterday, July 30th, 2002. The killings on the evening of May 10 last year were the result of a botched attempt to steal marijuana and cash in an apartment above the deli on 7th Avenue between 54th and 55th Street. After the sound of gunfire sent people scrambling on the Midtown streets outside, the two gunmen fled the apartment and managed to get lost in the crowds. How do you like that? Above the Carnegie Deli. Nothing kosher about that. Well, most of these other delis weren't really strictly kosher, but this one obviously is. Because any place that closes down Friday night at sundown and doesn't open up again until Saturday at sundown.
Yeah, that's kosher.
Can't get much more kosher than that. Speaking of kosher, how did we do with our Panther ticket? Did we get rid of them all? We don't know.
Yes, we got rid of them all.
Did we really?
We did.
How do you know that? You're just saying that.
Okay. I'm just
How about
saying
the calls on Marshall Majors, Chris? We getting any?
He's writing something down. He's on the phone, talking to someone, writing
this
something
is exciting.
down.
We're like,
no.
And you know, the MySpace crowd, I don't know about that crowd. You know, they know nothing.
It was in South Miami.
Right.
Right off 57th and Sunset.
See, that's back in my WS News days, and the studio for WNWS was on Ludlam Road at Dixie Highway. And what's Ludlam Road, like 67th?
67th.
Very good, excellent. That's absolutely correct. So this wasn't far from work. This was right up the old Hershey Highway, Marshall Majors. Boy, that was good. See, and people say, oh, you're living in the past. And like you get all bent out of shape when I do that thing about the restaurants from the past. Just like those shows about controversial shows from the past with your friend Reverend Jones. Oh, my God. So many morons in so little time. It's staggering, you know?
Sure is.
So you had somebody called and said they remembered Marshall Majors, or they just knew where it was?
They told me where the address was.
Yeah.
And I said, okay.
They said it was great, and they ate there many times, and it was fantastic.
They didn't say that much.
Neil's got great taste in deli and other Jew food and stuff. They didn't say that. That's where it was, though, in South Dade. Boy, how the times have changed, huh? Now, back in those days, I lived in Kendall. Off of Sunset on 107th Ave in Kendall. Right off the corner there. And remember we were talking about the supermarkets, and it used to be, Grand Union. The Grand Union's long gone, right?
Wow, that'd be like, 50 years ago.
Yeah, that's right, 100 years ago. Well, what do you expect? I'm 140 years old. Back when I was a young guy, I was only 40, 100 years ago. And it was right on the corner. There was a Grand Union, etc. Maureen Dowd writes, Hillary or nobody, ? While the cool cat's away, the Hillary mice will play, Maureen says. As Barack Obama was floating in the pool with his daughters the last few days in St. Thomas, some Clinton disciples were floating the idea of St. Hillary as his vice president. She can't win without him, said one Hillary advisor, and he can't win without her. They're stuck with each other. It's one of my favorite movie formulas, driving the dynamics in such classics as A Few Good Men, The Big Easy, and Guys and Dolls. Charming, glib guy spars and quarrels with no-nonsense, driven girl until they team up in the last reel. He spices up her life, she stiffens his spine. And soon they hear the pitter-patter of little super-delicate feet who are thrilled not to be pulled in two directions anymore. And everybody's happy. Or are they? A couple of weeks ago, when Hill and Bill mentioned the possibility of a joint ticket, it was an attempt to undermine Obama and urge voters and superdelegates to put Hillary on top. The implication was that this was the only way Democrats could have both their stars, and besides it was her turn. The precocious boy wonder had plenty of time. But with the math not in her favor and her options running out, Bill Richardson running out, and, there's a word here that I can't read. Narrative of dodging bullets in Bosnia. Oh, I see. A lie. And securing peace in Northern Ireland unraveling. Could Hillary actually think the vice presidency is the best she'll do? One Hillary pal said she wouldn't want to go back to a Senate full of lawmakers who'd abandon her for Obama. And even if she could get to be a majority leader, would it be much fun working with Nancy Pelosi, whose distaste for the Clintons has led her to subtly maneuver for Obama? Maybe the Terminator is thinking if she could just get her pump in the door, Dick Cheney, after all, was able to run the White House and the world from the vice president's residence, calling every shot while serving under a less experienced and younger president. And Observatory Circle is just up the street from where Hillary now lives. But aside from Barack and Michelle Obama's certain resistance, would it fly? Many Hillary voters are hardening against Obama, and more Obama fans are getting turned off by the idea of dragging down the Obama brand with Clinton dysfunction. No drama, vote Obama placard and T-shirts are popping up at Obama rallies, and one of his military advisors dubbed him No Shock Barack. It's hard to imagine that after spending her whole life playing second fiddle to a superstar politician, Hillary wants to do it again. She's been vice president. Could the Veep talk be a red herring, a ploy designed to distract attention from the Clintons' real endgame? Even some Clinton loyalists are wondering aloud if the win-at-all-cost strategy of Hill and Bill, which continued Tuesday when Hillary tried to drag Reverend Wright back into the spotlight, is designed to rough up Obama so badly and leave the party so riven that Obama will lose in November to John McCain. If McCain only served one term, Hillary would have one last shot. On Election Day in 2012, she'd be 65. Why else would Hillary suggest that McCain would be a better commander-in-chief than Obama, and why else would Bill imply that Obama was less patriotic and attended by more static than McCain? Why else would Phil Singer, a Hillary spokesman, say in a conference call with reporters on Tuesday that Obama was trying to disenfranchise the voters of Florida and Michigan? When it comes to voting, Senator Obama's turned the audacity of hope into the audacity of nope, he said, adding there's a basic reality here, which is we could have avoided the entire George W. Bush presidency if we'd have counted votes in Florida. So is Singer making the case that Obama's as anti-democratic as W was when he snatched Florida from Al Gore? Some top Democrats are increasingly worried that the Clintons' divide-and-conquer strategy is nihilistic, Hillary or no Democrat. Or as one Democrat described it to ABC's Jake Tapper, Hillary is going for the Tanya Harding option. If she can't get the gold, kneecap her rival. After all, the Clintons think of themselves as the Democratic Party. When Bill and Dick Morris triangulated the first term, it was what was best for Bill, not for the party. In '96, when Bill turned the White House into Motel 1600 for fundraisers, it was more about his re-election than the re-elections of fellow Democrats in Congress. In 2000, the White House focused its energies more on Hillary's Senate win than Al Gore's presidential run. And even Clinton supporters know that Bill doesn't want to be replaced as the first black president, especially by a black president with enough magic to possibly eclipse him in the history books. That's your gal, Maureen Dowd, Maureen the Queen, in the New York Times today. How's the poll coming? Are you going to get your 450 or what?
Oh, 389.
No chance.
Oh, we can do it.
Crazy? What?
We can do it.
You need 61 votes in 52 minutes? You should be able to do it.
We can do it.
What difference does it make? None. We just pretend to be upset. We gave away those Panther tickets. We gave away that certificate for Downtowner. And the good news is that'll be our Neil Deal thing tomorrow. We actually have one this week because they're still in business. And I bet you that famous kosher deli is still in business, too, based on the calls that we're getting and based on what your friend Flea was babbling about when he finally figured out how to turn the radio off.
It is, and it's great food from what I'm being told.
People are calling and telling you it's really great?
Yeah, a couple of people, and actually a good friend called and said they used to get from there like once a week for work.
Now I'm aggravated. I can't find no kishka here. Maybe I could find that, I could take the Pontiac and drive around all afternoon and see if I could find that deli 100 miles from here that Rimmer took me to that time, the place where the food just absolutely sucked. God, Rimmer. What?
Maybe he remembers where it is. He can send you a Google map.
I don't wanna. I could talk to him, but you know what? I don't wanna. Which part of the newspaper do you always read? I don't read newspapers. 76, that's leading almost 20%. Including George. Sports 72, local news 63, editorial page 38, the front page 38, comics 32, obituaries 15. I don't know. Maybe if you're old, like me, you want to see if anybody you knew croaked. Business 12, crossword puzzle 11, coupon 7, national news 7, the world 6, horoscope 4, the ads 3, classifieds 3, Dear Abby 2, and state news solamente uno. Who wants to read state news about a bunch of silly-ass rednecks in Florida who can't do anything right? $3.90. So you need 60 in 50 minutes. It's doable, but I don't know.
We'll do it.
Something going on today.
They'll come through.
Can't you feel it? Can't you smell it? There's something in the air.
I smell something.
Mm-hmm. That's Chris.
Oh.
No, I shower.
Change your pants, man. Change your pants. Too many sandwiches. Too much food going through that joint. I
don't have the problems that you have.
The Carnegie Deli. Now, I know I was on W Snooze back when that place was really popular, and I'm sure that they must have brought us food. This has been going on for a long time. This is the only place, now that I got the studio in my apartment here, this is the only place I've ever been safe from the barrage of all the incoming food. And of course, having no willpower, I've never been able to resist anyway. I mean, IOD was like just a nonstop barrage.
Right. It was insane. It was like a food orgy every day.
And Zeta, by 9 o'clock in the morning, we'd have eaten 3 meals already at Zeta. Pizza, cheeseburgers. There was a place, and again, here we go with this again. I have no idea what it was, where they open real early, just special for us, and make these incredible cheeseburgers and bring them to the studio at Zeta.
All for me.
Yeah. No, not just all for me, for Caprita and the Bird, your friend the Bird.
Mm-hmm.
He enjoyed himself. He had a good time on that show.
Mm-hmm.
What?
I'm acknowledging what you said. I didn't listen to the show on Zeta.
He didn't enjoy himself at IOD because I was talking about the Cubs or something he wasn't interested in. He would put his head down on
the
counter.
gig in the world, and he blew it.
He was getting paid $50,000 a year to eat free food and cackle once in a while. And just keep his mouth shut most of the time. He couldn't do it. And now he's dead. 12 minutes after 1 at 560, WQM Neil's half-price deals continue to be the hit of the town. Speaking of great food, every week we have another offer for you with more happy Neil Rogers listeners. And starting at noon tomorrow, you'll be able to buy $50 certificates for just $25 to the Downtowner Saloon, a Fort Lauderdale landmark, and one of the last great local restaurants downtown, like I just said. With waterfront dining on the New River, this family-friendly restaurant and saloon has got a local friendly atmosphere and awesome chef specials, including a raw bar and a fantastic all-you-can-eat Sunday brunch, as well as all-you-can-eat crab legs on Sunday nights. Try the best seafood around, including crab cakes, fresh grouper, and seared tuna, or try the awesome roasted prime rib or the ribeye. The Downtown is a great place to watch your favorite teams during March Madness on their high-def big screens, 2-for-1 drinks Monday through Friday, and live entertainment Wednesday through Saturday. And now, thanks to yours truly, you'll be able to buy $50 certificates for just half price, $25 tomorrow at the noon. It opens at noon tomorrow at WQM.com. But don't forget, like Tommy always tells us, act fast, because once they're gone, they're just gone.
Biggest names.
The best talent.
This is Neil Rogers.
Sports Radio 560 QAM.
The sports leader.
Have a decent days off.
Hello, I'm Tommy from Thai Tommy, saying for the best Thai food and the best service, as long as you're not black, come on down to Thai Tommy on South Beach. We don't like black people. They don't tip well. Besides, why black people want to eat Thai food anyway? We don't have fried chicken on the menu. Oh, wait, I forget. We have spare ribs. Lu Ching, Gai Chao, put the spare ribs on menu. So, if you're not black, come on down to Thai Tommy. Come to think of it, those damn gay people, we don't like them either. Sure, they tip food, but they talk too loud with funny lists. Disturb other customers, no come back. So, no gay, no black. And while we're at it, Latin people, you make reservation for 7:15. Don't show up at 8:20 and expect your table. We give it to someone else already. Latin people always late. No black, no gay, no Latin in Thai Tommy. And Jewish people, you stop bickering over bill. Who cares who have what? Pay when and go. Settle outside. Take 45 minutes trying to divide up bill. We don't want you here. No Jew, no black, no fag, no Cuban. And white people, you think you're better than everybody else? Complain too much if we don't kiss your ass. You no come back. No white, no black, no Jew, no Latinos, no gays. Everybody else, for the best Thai food, come on down to Thai Tommy on the beach. Hurry before we have to close.
117. I wonder if they ever did close Thai Tommy. You think? Do we know?
I thought they did.
Do we care?
I don't know. No.
I don't think so. I think they're still doing their thing, whatever the thing is. I did Google Carnegie Deli Fort Lauderdale, and I was just reading, and it could screw up on my computer.
See?
That when you,
all the time.
It freezes up. Why does that happen?
Because it's something you want to do.
Can you give me a serious answer for once in your life?
No.
You guys are supposed to be the computer experts.
I'm telling you. It's Murphy's Law of computers. Do you want to do it? It's going to blow up.
It just freezes up your computer, and you have to do all kinds of a stand on your head to get the damn thing back to Foxfire. Anyway, and there was an article about Fort Lauderdale working harder than any other city in the U.S. to discourage spring breakers. And Nikki Grossman was going on with her big fat mouth about, oh, yeah, isn't it wonderful? We had to work very hard, but we finally got all those punks out of here, all the punks and drunks and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, right. 406 votes on Chris's poll. He's got 42 minutes to get 44 votes. I think anybody. I think even Stevie Wonder could do that. Don't you?
Yes.
Indeed.
So I can't find too much about the Carnegie Deli is still in New York, I'm sure. And the people of South Florida had a chance to have a and they didn't want it. They said, here's a great deli from New York. It's just like you used to love it. We don't wanna. If it's good, they don't wanna. That's why I wish the best of luck to this new famous kosher deli, whatever it is, in Aventura, because if it's really great. Now, I would imagine in that area that it would be packed, wouldn't you?
I imagine, and I bet you it is.
I imagine they would do a hell of a business in that area. Remember that song by Connie Francis, Where the Jews Are, right? Of course, there aren't too many Jews left in South Florida. They've all been pushed out by your people. They've all been shoveled up to Boca, if you call that South Florida. See, to me, Boca is like, I only have listeners in Boca like chicken. Yeah. Where the Goyim are. Where the boys are. The in the tea room at Westland. If Jose Canseco was seeking revenge, he found it, writes Terry Thompson, Christian Red, and Michael O'Keefe in the New York Daily News. Oh, man. Wow. I'm gagging on it. Canseco says he was nice enough to educate Alex Rodriguez about steroids and even introduced him to a friendly steroids dealer in the late 1990s. But that A-Rod returned the favor by trying to bet his wife, the former Bash brother alleges in his new book, Vindicated, Big Names, Big Liars, and the Battle to Save Baseball. Whatever his motivation, and of course this morning, D.A., who was on for Joe, was just wailing about this. Oh, A-Rod don't need his wife. He doesn't need sloppy second. He must have said that 400 times. He was very, very upset about that. D.A. He'll be on again tonight from 9 to midnight. Now, was the Beast on last night? Was he actually, did they roll him out of the house?
He was on.
And? How was
he was on.
And?
He was on.
Can't you be
I didn't listen.
Then how do you know he was on for sure?
Because I was driving around about 10:30 heading home. Radio happened to be on. I was like, oh,
driving around with your windows down, yeah.
And my radio happened to be on at 560. I was like, oh, hey, the Beast is on. And then I put a CD on.
That is so smart.
I was in the mood for some chili peppers, so, you know.
Whatever his motivation, Canseco writes he's confident the Yankee star and three-time MVP used steroids. I did everything but inject the guy myself, Canseco says in the book. Canseco says he introduced the future Yankee to a trainer named Max. And every time they were in the locker room, you know what he used to say?
Push the button.
Push the button, Max!
That's it. Jack Lemmon. Oh, now who did you think it was? Keenan Wynn?
Yeah, who was also in that movie.
No.
No, he
the
wasn't.
trainer was a fan of steroids. He had connections with local suppliers, Canseco writes. Max later called Canseco to thank him for the reference. He said A-Rod had signed on, Canseco adds. I didn't ask for specifics. Canseco claims Rodriguez paid him back by ogling his then-wife Jessica. Canseco and Rodriguez were working out of Canseco's Florida home when Payrod made his admiration obvious. The first day he was there, my then-wife Jessica joined us in the gym, and A-Rod's eyes bugged right out of his head, Canseco wrote. Man, your wife is the most beautiful woman I've ever seen, Payrod said. Later, Canseco added, Rodriguez began calling Jessica on her cell phone. I'm not a jealous man, he says, but I could see that Payrod, a bachelor at that time, was jonesing for my wife. Canseco's book is scheduled to be released on Tuesday. Now, what's the date on that? Oh, that was yesterday. Oh, next Tuesday. But publisher Simon & Schuster started shipping copies this week. The New York Daily News obtained a copy yesterday after online columnist Joe Laban first reported on the contents of the book. Rodriguez didn't join the Yankees in Winter Haven Tuesday for the game with the Indians, but as he left Legends Field in Tampa was asked about the book, he told the AP, I have absolutely no reaction.
Absolutely.
Asked about the portion pertaining to Canseco's ex-wife, Rodriguez said, I don't know how to answer that. Reached by phone, Canseco seemed miffed that his book would be available a week early. I can't give a comment on it until Simon & Schuster okays it, so we're going to have to wait. Canseco also writes that he's not 100% sure that Roger Clemens used steroids, but he sure sounds like he is. According to the book, Clemens would sometimes say he was off to get a B12 shot, a known synonym in clubhouses for steroids. When a teammate homered, Clemens would say such things as, man, you must have had your juice this morning. He's talking about apple use. Even one of television's most respected reporters is thrown into the mix. Mike Wallace, in '86, privately grilled Canseco about the benefits of steroids and human growth hormone after interviewing Canseco in 2005. When the camera stopped rolling, Wallace asked me if we could talk off-camera, Canseco writes. He kept me there for another hour. Clearly curious about steroids, he wondered how the steroids and human growth hormone might help him, a man in his 80s, live a longer, healthier life. He wanted to know everything. Well, now Mike Wallace is on steroids.
All right.
Canseco also writes that he injected Maglio Ordonez of the Tigers several times with steroids. Earlier this year, the Times reported that Canseco had offered to keep Ordonez out of the book if Ordonez invested $5 million for a film that Canseco was producing. Sounds like a Larry King scam. Only a higher price. Canseco writes in the book that the Times charges not true and that he wasn't involved in the documentary. I met Mags in 2001 when I was with the White Sox, Canseco writes. When all was said and done, when Mags had the information he needed, he told me he was in. A few days later, we went in the back room in the clubhouse, and I jabbed a needle into his butt.
Rectum.
Ow, he said, that hurt. You got to get used to it, I said. Ow, he said. Kind of like the don't tase me guy. Ow. Andy. Wasn't that his name, Andy?
That was.
Andy from Weston?
Right.
What are you so surprised
Gator,
about?
that you remembered that.
He wasn't even cute.
Right, exactly.
Canseco writes to you, but I'm going to tell you, man, that Stephen Strait in that movie, what's the name of that movie again?
The Covenant? The
Jesus, God Almighty, I'm going to tell you. At any rate, Canseco writes that he wanted to include his suspicions about Clemens in his first book, Juice, but the publisher wouldn't let him. According to a source close to the publishing house, HarperCollins, the names included in that book were ones about which Canseco had first-hand knowledge of use. Ow! Canseco writes that comments he made about Clemens to 60 Minutes and ESPN were mysteriously edited out of the reports. Canseco began to think there was some sort of conspiracy afoot. Specifically, Roger Clemens was from Texas. He went to play for the Astros to be close to his family. George W. Bush, a former owner of the Texas Rangers baseball team, is like Clemens, a proud Texan. Clemens is a personal friend of Bush Sr. and his wife Barbara, with their Marty Feldman eyes. Clemens still has a standing invitation from Bush Jr. to visit the White House anytime he wants. Getting the picture? Maybe the President of the U.S. or his daddy, the ex-president, made some calls and took care of things for old Roger, says Jose. Clemens' attorney, Rusty Hardin, and Clemens' spokesman, Joe Householder, didn't return calls seeking comment. But Clemens gets kid glove treatment in the book compared to A-Rod. Canseco ends one chapter by saying, "So, A-Rod, if you're reading this book and I'm not getting through to you, let's get it clear on one thing. I hate your blanking guts." Wow, how do you like that? I hate your effing guts, Payrod. That's what Jose Canseco says.
Yeah.
Woo! Heavy duty. So what do you think, Jose Canseco or Pete Rose the bigger scumbag?
Chris.
I'll go with Canseco.
Do you think Chris is the bigger,
Yes, I do.
Biggest name.
He's big.
I'm gonna stay where he comes from.
With Neil Rogers on Sports Hole Radio, WQAM.
Well, a couple of years ago, I made some money I didn't pay taxes on.
The government's got plenty of money. They don't need your taxes.
Dramatically higher taxes.
It starts with migraines, and I know why. The headaches always come around tax time. Keep that in mind. Gotta fill in the lines and get it in on time. All I know, tax forms are a pain to think, and filling them out, man, it really stinks. I'm doing all this so they can take the pay. Yes, take half away. It's so unreal, but a fact, you know. I'm in a matrix of pencils and numbers and notes. Lost half my receipts long ago. How I'll ever get through this, I just don't know. Makes me wanna cry, and even though I tried, it all fell apart right from the start. What it means to me is just misery. April 5th, you see. Tried so hard and didn't get far, but in the end, someone will fix this matter. Hate to call, 'cause after all, in the end, their wallet will be fatter.
Income tax time coming up.
The burden of taxes has shifted from the wealthy to the middle class.
That sucks. Or clear. It is the law.
There he is. There's Bozo, man. 132 at 560 WQAM. Don't forget to join George this Friday, speaking of plunging your guts out, at Gulfstream from 10 to 2. Come by for great horse racing, play a little bit of poker, maybe hit the slots for big money like that lady who won her $1.1 million. Plus enjoy some great food and drinks while George gets you ready for the Florida Derby with his handicrapping. I got to leave at noon on Friday, so you're on your own, man.
I got an expert. We're going to have hopefully, we're going to try to get it lined up. A nice lady that'll give us a nice handicapping seminar.
A nice lady. George is trying to, he's trying to line up a nice lady for the Gulfstream show. Or after the Gulfstream show.
Several
or before,
nice ladies during,
yeah. Okay, whatever. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Mike Lupica writes in the New York Daily News, I thought Mike Lupica only wrote about sports, Chris.
Okay.
Doesn't he?
I know he likes about sports a lot, but I guess he doesn't.
Although he does mention Roger Clemens in this story, so I guess that makes it kosher. The headline on the story, Governor Patterson and Hillary Clinton need to stop telling stories. It goes one of two ways for David Patterson, another politician out of New York who doesn't know when to shut up any more than Hillary Clinton does. Here's one. Patterson continues to give us way more information about his past than any of us ever needed, and they run him out of Albany faster than his predecessor ran working girls out of hotel rooms. The other is that he stops giving interviews now, stops acting as if that's his day job, and begins to show if he actually has seen chops, if he has the chops for a job he clearly never expected to have in the years when he was, in the words of the late great Warren Zevon, making out like Charlie Sheen. If Patterson can manage that, an old Albany boss named Joe Bruno ends up acting governor for a few months, then Mike Bloomberg gets a special election he wants in the fall, and Bloomberg essentially succeeds one kind of frisky crusader, Spitzer, the way he did when he succeeded another frisky crusader, Rudy Giuliani, to become mayor of New York. Bloomberg says he's not interested in being governor. Generally with him, when he says one thing about his political ambitions, you throw it all down and bet the other way. So that's one scenario for Patterson, one that takes him across the clown line forever. The other is that he really does learn how to stop acting as if he's talking to Dr. Phil instead of to us. Because up to now, the only thing David Patterson hasn't told us is that he had to dodge sniper fire on his way to his next girlfriend. Patterson apparently expects New York Democrats to start singing Happy Days Are Here Again because he's the governor who didn't have to pay for it. Even as college kids start to think hanging with him would be a lot more fun on spring break than going to Florida. Patterson is a progressive and decent guy, Assemblyman Richard Brodsky, someone who knows Patterson from Albany, was saying yesterday, but he needs to understand that the political climate in this country right now, the whole presidential election is about character. If there's one message that the American people are sending, it's that. We all ought to be listening. Brodsky, a Hillary Clinton supporter, was asked if that includes the U.S. Senator from New York as well as the new governor of the state. It means all of us, he said. But both the governor of New York and the senator from New York had called out on character now in judgment. Why? Because neither knows when to zip it. That's why. Patterson keeps telling us all about the women he's had. Send up a flare if you think there aren't more to come. And his Delta House passed. And Hillary Clinton talks herself into a world of trouble by making a trip to Bosnia in 1996 sound as if it were a scene out of Black Hawk Down when it wasn't anything of the kind. What's this fax? Oh, I see. It's about a deli. This is what Senator Clinton said last week in a speech referencing the trip to Bosnia and remind another example of her former career as an international troubleshooter. I remember landing under sniper fire. There was supposed to be some kind of greeting at the airport, but instead we just ran with our heads down to get into vehicles to go to our base. That was last week. On Monday, here's what Clinton said when asked about the trip to Bosnia by columnist Will Bunch of the Philadelphia Daily News. We had to have our bulletproof stuff on because of the threat of sniper fire. I was also told that the greeting ceremony had been moved away from the tarmac, but there was this 8-year-old girl, and I can't rush by her. I've got to at least greet her. So I greeted her, I took her stuff, and then I left. Now, that's my recollection of it. When pressed on the issue of her credibility by Bunch, she continued, I think that a minor blip, you know. If I said something like that, you know, I say a lot of things, millions of words a day, so if I misspoke, that was a misstatement. When she talks about how she misspoke and misstatement, she starts to sound like Roger Clemens. No, she means exactly what she said originally. It was a story that she thought she could get by with, and a campaign built on this whopper of a notion that she was practically co-president of the U.S. once. You can only imagine the hysterical reaction from her spokesman, Howling Wolfson, if Obama's version of something was this far from the truth. She originally talked about being worried about sniper fire and running for cover, Will Bunch said yesterday. Then you look at the footage, and there's her daughter Chelsea standing right next to her. The Mias kite, well, both of them. Is it why the new governor of New York looks more honest when talking about women on the side than women running for president looks talking about a trip abroad? Yesterday, Clinton was still answering questions about Bosnia, even as she desperately wanted to change the subject back to Barack Obama's pastor, saying again she misspoke and then adding this. I'm a human, which, you know, is for some people a revelation. Not so much, says Mike Lupica. Are you there?
Right here.
Oh, okay. I thought I lost you.
Oh, here you go. The end of that story.
I didn't want to hear it because it's by Mike Lupica, who usually talks about sports. He did mention Roger Clemens.
I don't care either way.
That was good. And what's even better is we got enough votes on there. We got, what, 432? I bet if I refresh it, we got more than that.
433.
Woo! They're pouring in by the ones, man. We need only 17 votes to get that 450. And you got 23 minutes to do it.
Told you.
Puerto Rican Ralph says, last time in New York City, I ate at the Carnegie Deli at 57th Street. I was greeted by the owner, who was a big fat Jew. Then we had a nice bowl of Jewish penicillin, and then we had pastrami on the table. They had pickles and coleslaw. So the one here, if it's closed, they're missing the best in the world. Also, it says the reservations for Vancouver have been made. Air for hotel. Oh, good deal. Good deal. You want to go to a really great hotel, by the way, in Vancouver. Sutton Place is my recommendation, Ralph. Right downtown, right in the middle of things. It's a beautiful expense. I don't remember if it's that expensive, but you'll like it. So have a good time in Vancouver, Ralph, and thanks for the Carnegie Deli. Yeah, we had it, and it's gone. And once it's gone, they don't come back. It's gone. You notice that?
Yep.
Like the Famous thing. Now this Famous may have absolutely nothing to do with the original Famous, because this one's called Famous Kosher Deli. But I have a feeling they're, playing on the name. Because it's, I think, the third or fourth time they brought back a Famous Deli. And I'm going to give it a try. And if it's as good as the one on Miami Beach, man, I'm going to rave about it. Even if they don't buy any spots, I'll rave about it until the cows come home. See, once upon a time, I would discover a food product or a restaurant or something really good. And I'd go on the air and I'd rave about it. And then before you know it, we'd be doing spots for them. They become a sponsor, like the way it works in real radio.
You'll be happy to know Pete Lenny came in and to get the name of that place, and he's going to go call on them.
There you go. A real professional salesman. Petey Lenny. Good for him. Even though he is an ass kisser, but he knows what it takes to survive in this dog eat dog world.
Right?
You know?
Dogs. He's a hustler. He hustles.
He does. He goes out there and he makes calls. As opposed to some of the people like Brian Schmutz who come back from oblivion, wherever the hell he went to, and they blow away whatever spots we had on the air. It's just amazing. I could write a chapter in a book, the book you keep telling me I'm going to write, a chapter just about the sales department and how they've destroyed everything it took me 32 years to build up. It's just amazing to me. Astonishing, shocking. And of course, keep in mind, we don't really get to hear the story behind the story, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like the story with Ponytail. We don't know what really went on there that pissed him off so bad. Which he keeps telling us it's the sales department. 434 votes. You need 16, Fat Chris.
All right. The biggest names.
The best talent.
This is Neil Rogers.
Sports Radio 560 QAM.
The sports leader.
Obama, he's our candidate. Obama, get out the vote, cause we love Obama. Don't care his name, sounds just like Osama. Obama, you beat Hillary. Obama, mop up the floor, kick your booty, mama. Will you still be around in November? Easy in the grill, never come on now. Obama, he's our candidate. Obama, get out the vote, cause we love Obama. Don't care his name, sounds just like Osama.
Obama.
Cutie, cutie, we love your white booty. Shake that thing all the way to Washington. And let's party in the Democratic Party. And the way you make the speeches make the girls feel naughty. Duty, duty, gotta do your duty. Keep the Clintons out of Washington. And votes taken, got Hillary shaking. And the way you campaign got Republicans quaking. Obama, you beat Hillary. Obama, mop up the floor, kick your booty, mama. Will you still be around in November? Easy in the grill, never come on now. Obama, he's our candidate. Obama, get out the vote, cause we love Obama. Don't care his name, sounds just like Osama.
146 at 560 WQM. We got Jerks back now for another, getting us ready for another heat loss. How many games they got left? Hopefully not too many.
Probably about 10 or so.
Oh, too many. Way too many. I would say 10 too many. Anyway, Sean, the pool guy from Hollywood, says, despite the potential after effect, I seriously stumbled upon the best way to make a steak. Grill your steak to medium rare, slap it on the cutting board and slice it up, stir-fry it for 90 seconds in butter, salt, pepper, and maybe some garlic. Serve on a TV tray in the bathroom. That's cute. He says the butter really does it in more ways than one. Steak, butter, salt, and pepper, garlic. 1 to 2 pounds of steak. Oh, I see. He's got the amount of each ingredient. And he says 2 each medium depends adult diapers.
They have 5 games left.
Oh, I told you 10 was way too many. P.S. Please mention time, location of George's next appearance. You think I need to do that again? George will be at Gulfstream Friday, 10 to 2. Now, where exactly are you going to be hanging it out at Gulfstream? It's
in the same place, the Finish Line Casino right there. It's in the middle. It's very hard to miss.
It's hard to miss, Sean.
Kind of the ground floor, right next to the what do they call it? Where they parade the horses around? No, where they parade the horses.
Oh, the ring? The walking ring?
Yeah, like not the promenade, not the it starts with
the walking ring.
It starts with a P.
It starts with a P?
Yeah. I want to say promenade, but I'm sure that's not it. The paddock, something like that.
The paddock.
Yeah, there we go.
Paddock.
Right there next to that.
Who does have probably the best early speed of the speeds in here today, and she's coming up from Gulfstream Park.
See, how do you like that?
Wow.
Is that an omen or what? Woo! Heavy duty. It's the third race at Aqueduct, 10 minutes away.
And if Sean shows up, he can be part of our betting seminar class that we're going to take there at 1 o'clock.
How do you know he knows anything about betting?
It's for people that don't know anything about
it.
It's going to get that girl to take us by the hand, gently, I hope, and walk us through the process.
Oh, by the way, the Leafs got pounded by Boston 6-2 last night, and we'll lose in Boston again tomorrow night. They're done. Panthers are done, in spite of that last spot we had. We'll take the money, though. Thank you. Hillary Clinton Tuesday revived the row over fiery racial rhetoric by Democratic foe Barack Obama's former pastor as she tried to dodge that storm over her overblown account of the '96 trip to Bosnia. With the White House race again consumed by bitterness, the New York senator said she would have left the church had her pastor come out with remarks like those of Reverend Jeremiah Wright. The Obama campaign accused her of trying to deflect from her own embarrassment after she admitted that her claims that she dodged sniper fire during the Bosnia trip as First Lady were untrue. How come they keep using all these, they're lie, that's all lie, L-I-E, okay? Not a misstatement, not untrue, a freaking lie. I made a mistake, that happens. It proves I'm human, which for some people is a revelation, she said, as the controversy raged, distracting from her claims of high-level foreign policy experience. In addition to which, what if the story was true? What if she did have to dodge sniper fire? What does that have to do with foreign policy experience? You know what I'm saying?
She rode on a jet, she'd been to foreign places.
And what about the pilot? How come he can't be president then?
Good, the pirate? Arr.
She used that same news conference in Pennsylvania to pointedly discuss Wright after a week of choosing not to comment on the issue. I think given all we've seen and heard, he would not have been my pastor, Clinton said. We don't have a choice when it comes to our relatives. We do have a choice when it comes to our pastors and the church we attend. The furor prompted Obama to give a landmark speech on racial reconciliation last week, which appeared to quiet the storm, but Republican commentators denounced him for refusing to disown Wright and the drama, which some analysts could say could hurt Obama with the drama, with working-class white voters, looks set to be a general election issue if he wins the nomination. Obama spokesman Bill Burton accused Swillery of bringing up the race row to cloud her own embarrassment. After originally refusing to play politics with this issue, it's disappointing to see Swillery's campaign sink to this low in a transparent effort to distract attention away from the story she made up about dodging sniper fire in Bosnia, he said. The truth is, Barack Obama has already spoken out against his pastor's offensive comments and addressed the issue of race in America with a deeply personal and uncommonly honest speech. How do you like that? Every time he makes a misstep or somebody makes a misstep for him, she just falls in a puddle of mud. Her attempts to chase down former Obama are complicated by the Bosnia snafu, which her rival's aides have framed as an example of her dishonesty and her overstating for her foreign policy experience. It's been a very long campaign, the laughing Clinton said in an interview with Pittsburgh radio station KDKA. I did misspeak the other day. Right. Liar. Obama aides quickly pointed to at least 4 other occasions stretching back to December when she recalled coming under fire when she landed at Tuzla Air Base on March 25th, 1996. She's got this habit of misspeaking. In other words, she's got Greg Reed syndrome. She lies a lot. She lies like a trooper, man, like a champ. Don't let me forget to give away that thing tomorrow.
All right.
That meal.
Matter of fact,
that certificate.
Put the reminder right here on
443. Chris is knocking on heaven's door now. Knocking on the edge. 450. We got it already. How do you like that? I did it. Refreshed it. And it came 450. That was a great line by Sean on there.
Yeah.
About the Depends. Eat it on a TV tray in the bathroom.
Where Al Goldstein takes most of his meals, I understand.
Why do you say that?
Because we have a bit of him doing just that.
Oh, we can't play that.
No.
Are you crazy?
The Art of Dumping, where he's got a TV tray in the bathroom.
Yeah, right. Well, when you're that fat, you have to have food with you all the time.
You're looking for glory holes.
Poor Al. Every time I think about him, it just brings a tear to my eye. Because in spite of all his bombacity and all of his, not knowing where to draw the line and just being over the edge all the time, he really is a sweet guy.
Yes, he is.
He means well.
Yes, he is.
He means well, but, so did Genghis Khan.
No, he didn't.
Driven by Eddie Cobb in the 4th race at Yonkers. Remember Eddie Cobb?
No.
Oh. What do you know about it? How about corn-on-the?
I do. I remember cornin'.
I do like that Indian corn, man. Now, is there really such a thing, or is that just the way you cook it? Maize? What is maize?
Corn.
Willie?
Corn.
But, is it just any old kind of corn? It's not maize.
That's another word for corn.
It is?
Yes.
Get out of here. I thought maize was like with different colored kernels.
No.
And was the kernel colored?
It depends on which kernel you're talking about.
The one with the chicken. Yeah, he was colored white, very white. 450 votes on the poll. Here's the deal. Which part of the newspaper do you always read? I don't read newspapers, 90. 20% don't read newspapers. And, of course, if South Florida had one, they might. Sports, 681. Local, 73. Front page, 44. Editorial page, 43. Comics, 36. Business, 18. Obituary, 16. Crossword puzzle, 12. Coupons, 9. National News, 8. World News, 6. Horoscope, 5. The Ads, 3. Classifieds, 3. Dear Abby, 2. And State News, solamente uno. Who cares what them yahoos are doing?
biggest names.
The best talent.
This is Neil Rogers.
Sports Radio 560 QAM.
The sports leader.